Some of the content of Patriots Unfiltered may not be suitable for all audiences. Listener discretion is advised.
The world's original podcast.
Welcome to Patriots Unfiltered.
You had a fresh cut there, Freddie?
I did.
Yeah.
Gio Barber down here in Foxborough.
Four-game winning streak.
Yeah.
We get fresh
I got
cuts.
it.
Look
Yeah.
at everything's coming
I got
up,
one
Fred.
too. I got a haircut.
I didn't
too.
notice.
We didn't
I
notice.
didn't notice yours. I asked Todd Downing this. I had a chance to talk to Todd Downing last
Did
week.
you?
That was an ESPNism right there. I had a chance to talk to Todd Downing. Yeah, me and about 30 of my closest friends.
Yeah.
Where were you watching the game, Brian?
I'm at home.
Just by yourself?
Oh, yeah, I mean, pretty much. I mean, you know.
Oh, either
Pretty
there's
much.
someone
Yeah,
with you or not.
Full games, though.
People coming in and out, probably.
Just my demons.
Yeah.
Evan, question for you.
Yeah.
Marty Mapu? There's something growing there a little bit? There's something
Maybe.
growing?
I mean, it was garbage. The Browns are not pretty good.
Their defense is number one in the
The
league.
defense is good.
Okay.
They're good.
So they
They're
have
2-5.
they have a superpower that can give you trouble.
If they get to 17 points, I'd be shocked. Correct.
You and Barth live,
Yes.
pants off, pants on.
I hope the pants stay on.
Okay, well, you're
Yeah.
behind the desk. No one would know.
This is Patriots Unfiltered.
Presented by Toyota's official website for deals, buyatoyota.com.
All right, welcome to Patriots Unfiltered. It is Wednesday here at Gillette Stadium. And today, of course, is our Turn the Page Day. We're going to turn the page to the number one defense in the NFL, Cleveland Browns with Myles Garrett.
Based off of what?
And are they?
Based on, that's what we're going to talk about. And then, of course, we'll have our
hold on,
Wednesday
hold on.
live press conference with Mike Vrabel around 12:55, I believe.
Can confirm. Pants on.
Yeah.
They were off. For
He
like,
just
in the
finished
beginning of the
catch
show.
22. We do have the desk. Fred said no one would know because you're behind the desk. Can confirm.
Right.
Pants are on.
After catch 22, sometimes I do feel like I need to like take a shower or something.
Wow.
Like you just get really in the weeds, and you're just like, it's tiring.
Cold shower or hot
Yeah.
shower?
I don't
Just
do
any
cold
kind.
showers.
Yeah.
Or I don't
But
get-
I like
don't
because
respect people.
I come into the studio before they're done with Catch 22, so I catch the end of it, and so the show's over, Evan's out, ready to go, and Barth is still in here, and I hear Evan go, "Come on, Barth, let's go," like that. It's just like two, like
Because he's
it's
got
like
to
they're
pack
married.
up. He's got to pack up all of his crap, and I'm like, he takes out the computer, and then he takes out the charger, and has this whole thing. I'm like, why do you need the charger? Like, it's 2 hours. It's not a 10-hour show. Like, is the computer really gonna die in the 2 hours that we're on the show? It's a lot.
You leave
It's a
Alex
lot.
alone. He's
Same
got enough.
prepared.
problems.
No,
he's got his ways of doing things.
Does.
It sure does.
That is ways.
I just hope if the Patriots, do go to the Super Bowl against all odds, that station is, does the right thing and
He's
sends
gonna
them,
be sleeping on the floor in my hotel room.
and sends them.
Oh, man, that'd be tough.
So I think we, content-wise, could have some fun with him down there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Barth
The
Unplugged.
two of you send you out on the streets.
On the streets.
Yeah.
San Francisco.
Man in the street.
You could
style?
quiz people.
Tenderloin?
You could
Yeah.
quiz people on X's and O's on the
Okay.
streets. So are you a football fan? Yeah. Okay, let's test your knowledge, and then you start getting into it.
But then I'm like,
People's eyes
mansplaining
glaze over.
football.
Yeah.
It's not good.
No, that would be
No,
good.
I did that to Jess once and it was bad.
Oh.
Yeah, I survived it though.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, it's Evan, it's Paul, it's me, it's Deuce, it's Alex in the booth, and we are turning the page to the Cleveland Browns. We're done with the Titans. We've put them to rest. We've given the rest of the league the blueprint to beat that one-win team,
Good call.
so now we move on to the Cleveland Browns. How do we score points against this defense?
Yeah. Just keep playing the way Drake May's been playing. It's hard to say he won't move the ball and score some points, but I'm excited for this matchup. It's like I said, I think it's the best defense they've gone up against this year. Play a lot of man. You got Myles Garrett, mostly plays on that right side over Will Campbell. They got a number of pass rushers that they're going to rotate through, Malik Collins, Mason Graham, among others, that are disruptive. And it's that Jim Schwartz thing with the wide nines.
So
and
you're doing your matchups, quarterback, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Our offensive line versus their defensive line. Who wins that matchup?
And probably their defensive line, I'd say right now.
Yeah, I would
It's
say
got an
so.
edge.
Okay. Our receivers versus their cornerbacks. Who wins that matchup?
Our receivers.
Our
Yeah.
receivers.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, Ward's a really good player,
Yeah,
but they've struggled
They,
outside of
they
that.
swapped Newsom for Tyson.
Our
Campbell.
short passing game versus their short coverage game. Who wins that matchup?
Them.
Yeah.
They have good linebackers. good
Schlesinger.
Okay. Our running game versus their defensive run stop game.
Browns.
Browns would win that.
Okay, so we're scoring about 14 points, is what you're saying?
No, like 23.
Well, so far we've only won one matchup on
Yeah,
our
but we have
offense versus their
the
defense.
most important one.
Yeah.
The quarterback.
deep-
Like,
passing game.
not all matchups are created equal. The
Okay.
quarterback, we gave the edge to the Patriots quarterback, right?
Against who?
Against their secondary.
You just said in the short passing game they have the
Short
edge.
passing game.
Okay,
you said.
that's a
But I'm
quarterback.
but the first one you said something about the quarterback and the receivers against their secondary.
That's right. I
And
didn't
we-
say
we
that.
all said-
I haven't
but-
mentioned the quarterback yet. I said our receivers versus their cornerback.
And we all gave the edge to the Patriots.
That's right. Okay.
because of Drake May.
right,
Well,
right. But
I'm sorry, Mike. I don't want to speak
Don't
for you.
disrespect Keyshawn Booty like that.
Evan and I said edge Patriots for that.
but
And
but
that's-
you gave them the
that's why I
edge for the
give them the
short
edge.
passing game.
The short passing game, yes.
and
I
that's a
have
big
no
part of
interest-
our offense.
I have no interest in throwing
Not
the
lately,
ball
it hasn't
short.
been.
yeah.
Well-
no, I mean, the short passing game, I think what stands out to me is this Browns team really flies
Right.
to the ball and
Right.
tackles.
So
and
we're
there's
not
a
going to
lot
be
of
able to
space.
run. We're not going to be able to throw the ball short.
Well,
I wouldn't say you're not going to be able to. Like, this isn't the 85 Bears.
yeah, you're exaggerating a little bit.
But you're giving them the edge.
Yeah, I think they have a pretty good defense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do.
Pretty good.
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't know if it's the best. I mean, I know they use numbers that we all agree are not the best gauge for
Okay.
defense.
They are
like,
the number one defense
yardage.
yardage.
by yards, they're number
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Right?
There we go.
So I'm not telling you this is not a good defense. This is a good defense. But even good defenses can get beat by good offense. When they played Detroit, as an example, they get up 34. So Detroit is a good offense, and they find a way. They don't just bomb away every play. They found a way to move the ball. Now, I think the biggest thing to score points in this game, the key matchup to me is does the Patriots defense finally take a bad offense and make it look bad? Because that's what generally happens to the Browns defense. They're on the field too much. You just can't hold everything the whole time. And I'm looking at their score by quarters. And it's reasonably close every quarter. 27-17, they're outscored in every quarter. But 27-17 in the first quarter, 42-33 in the second, 34-33 in the third, all reasonably close. 49-30 in the fourth. It's like you can only hold on so long. That stat tells me that the defense plays well, and then, they get beaten down mentally by the fact that their offense can't move the ball. They're always chasing.
What about time of possession?
I can look that up for you. Hold on.
Yeah, I would just say I think don't turn the ball over. Don't regress Drake May and give them fumbles, give them extra possessions, and that's
Isn't
when
that one of the ones they
I
put
think
in
they
this
could
thing?
close the gap there. But they just play clean football for 4 quarters. I think they should get enough
so,
separation to win the game.
It's the only way they lose.
Yeah.
The only way they lose this game is if it's a Pittsburgh redux and they turn the ball over a bunch of times.
Yep.
Because this Browns offense is not going to drive the field consistently. They really only had 2 scoring drives last week. They scored 10 real points. The rest of it came off of turnovers or pick sixes.
Yeah.
So, like,
I mean, just to illustrate that, 16, 17, 13, 10, 17, 9.
That's their scoring drives.
No, that's their point totals in every game. Until last week, 31. And the reason for the 31,
Right.
continue, Ev.
yeah, they scored 21 of their 31 points off turnovers. One of them was an actual pick six, and one of them was returned to the 2-yard line. So, like, and then the other one was a fumble that they recovered in Miami territory. So they really had 2 drives. They had one legitimate drive, and then Quinshon Judkins hit a 46-yard touchdown. And so that was the real offense. Like, they had 10 real points
Well, they're
in the game last week.
Schwartz is their defensive coordinator.
He is.
He's good. He's good.
He
You
is.
know.
They're all his defense.
heard
Always
that.
super aggressive.
He's one of those guys who tried to be a head coach, but settled back to where his peak efficiency is, and that's being a defensive coordinator.
Just
He's
same
very
attitude.
good.
Yeah.
He's
I
very
think
good.
he's a good defensive coordinator, but Josh was here in the Super Bowl and against the Eagles, right? Josh was the offensive coordinator, and they had like
17.
500 yards of passing.
Was that still Jim Schwartz?
I think that was a Jim Schwartz defense. Am I wrong on that?
I don't
I
know.
think you're right. I think
That
you're
was
right.
that was one of those.
Sounds right to me.
It was one of those that I get in trouble with when I go off the top of my head,
Coordinators.
and then Mike comes back and goes, "Well, actually, Paul, that was
Well,
03, not
actually-
04." You remember from?
I think that there's certain vulnerabilities in the Browns defense that really play into the strengths of the Patriots offense. I think, play action, moving the pocket, deep shots down the field. They've struggled with all those types of things. They're very, very aggressive defense. So if you get their eyes in the wrong places, then you can beat them down the field with those types of tricks. So I don't think this is one of those games where you want Drake May to drop back and pass 35 times. But if you move the pocket, if you get him out on the edge, if you have him, drop back pass just only a few times in the game traditionally, I think that there's ways to move the ball against the Browns through the air. Like they're a really good defense. They're only 11th in drop back EPA. It's not like they're number one across the board and everything. Yeah. They're really stingy against the run, and they have a Hall of Fame player in Myles Garrett coming off the edge, going up against a rookie left tackle. So if you have to, as a staff, as a coaching staff, you have to have a real sound plan of how are we going to block 95? Mm-hmm. And it has to be every play. Like he has to be in the play call every single time you call the play. There has to be some sort of bell and whistle that's accounting for Myles Garrett.
Does that limit you on offense? Because you're using that extra person.
Not if you're preventing him from blowing your game plan up. I think it's worth the attention Evan said, but I just think there's a number of storylines in this game that are interesting to me. Drake May going up against the best defense he's faced. Will Campbell against Myles Garrett. The penchant for Dylan Gabriel to use his tight ends and backs underneath and kind of attack. They don't really have a downfield passing game, but Gabriel's been safe with the ball. And if Njoku plays, then they might challenge the Patriots on some of their weaknesses.
I'm more interested in that because I want to see the defense finally make one of these bad offenses look bad.
Yeah.
And those are some of the things that the Patriots have struggled with. Let's see if they've made some progress on it. To answer your question, by the way, about the time of possession, about even.
About even.
Yeah.
30, that's surprising.
30-47 to 29-13. I just think that you get beaten down when you can't score. And 16, 17, 13, 10, 17, 9. That's their point totals in the first 6 games of the season. Like if you're playing defense, it's hard to go out there every drive and say, "Oh, we got to get the ball back for him again."
Yeah. It reminds me a little bit of the 22-ish Patriots, like the 2022 time Patriots, where they really I think this defense is probably better than those Patriots defenses were, but you don't have a real passing game, and your run game, your short, quick underneath stuff, your screen game, your quick game, your tight ends, like that's where you're living offensively. And at some point, and I think we've seen it with Myles Garrett, like the frustration is starting to boil over for Myles Garrett.
Look out.
Where he's like,
swinging.
This is like I've been here how many years and we still can't score.
Yeah.
And so every single game I play in, we're down 14 points. And I think that frustration is starting to boil over. He's had some comments in the media over the last week or two that have been surprising to me. Like I thought maybe they were like AI or something, that are just coming out and saying we don't score enough. I don't get to pass rush with a lead. Mm-hmm. They asked him about Joe Flacco and what he did in Cincinnati last week. And he was like, yeah, would have been nice. It's.
Yeah, he was pretty bad with the Browns. He had a 60 passer rating for Cleveland in whatever many games that was, 5 games. That's pretty bad.
Yeah.
So
4 games, I guess.
So on the other side of the ball for Cleveland, their offense, is this solely because they don't have a quarterback, or do they just not have talent across the board?
They have a little bit. Jerry Jeudy, I think, is a good receiver, but it's a lot of it's young guys. It's Harold Fannon's a rookie that they're playing at tight end, and he's leading them in receptions. Njoku is right behind him. Quinshon Judkins is another rookie. So, you're looking at a number of rookies even on the defensive side of the ball as well. So I think it's a young offense. I don't think Dylan Gabriel has the arm and talent to really consistently push it down the field, but he's mobile. And like I said, he hasn't made mistakes. He hasn't turned the ball over in the 3 starts that he's had. So going back to our Patriot days of those when your offense is struggling, that's where you got to start there. If you don't turn the ball over, you might give yourself a chance to. Myles Garrett comes out here and blows by Will Campbell, and it's a scoop 6, and then all of a sudden it changes the game. So that's what Evan said. You have to rely on that kind of thing.
It's both though. The quarterback issues that Mike just talked about, they don't have many weapons. I think Judkins looks like a good rookie running back, and
10th in rushing
I'd be curious to see what Isaiah Bond looks like.
Yeah,
as a young
hasn't
receiver.
looked great.
No, he hasn't looked great.
No. But that's
I liked him coming out.
Jerry
until he
Jeudy
had
to
his
me
issue.
is
Yeah.
pedestrian at best,
Yeah.
and he's by far and away the best wide receiver they have. I mean, there's no one really
No one even
close to number 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's streaky though. Like he can have those games, where he comes out and he has 150 yards and then he'll go away for a couple weeks. So
Yeah.
he does have that capability, but I think it's the quarterback is the main thing. But their offensive line has also regressed from like the Bill
Had a lot of
Callahan,
injuries.
like peak Cleveland offensive line days with Nick Chubb and those offenses.
Yeah.
Their tackles are not as good as they used to be. Cam Robinson's having a tough year at left tackle.
Yep.
They had DeJuan Jones is hurt at right tackle, so the backup on right tackle. Bill Callahan's not there anymore, as we talked about last week with him in Tennessee. So it's not, that line is not as good as it has been. That used to be one of the best offensive lines in football. Chubb was really rolling. So they're not that anymore. So I think it's all of it. But Gabriel is really limited throwing the ball down the field. He over 10 air yards. It's like 35% completion rate on deeper throws down the field. He really struggles in that area. If you make him push it down the field, if you get him behind the chains, if you put him behind on the scoreboard.
I'm not
it's
just
hard.
saying it because he's lefty, but it reminds me a lot of Tua. Like I think there's a lot of timing throws. He can be very accurate, but Evan just said
Mobile
it. Like,
at all?
Yeah. Yes.
He'll move around.
Yeah, he's
when,
small.
But when he's small, and when you ask him to push the ball downfield, he has a hard time. I don't
He's
think he has
slippery.
the
Yeah.
I wouldn't say
arm
he's
strength.
like super fast, but he's very slippery.
Yeah.
Like he can get out of the pocket a little bit. And they do run him on some like zone read type stuff too, and they incorporate him a little bit in the boot game and run game type stuff. But he's just I don't even know if I would give him Tua. Like Tua is a better player.
No.
for sure.
This is a rookie.
Yeah.
Just starting. Like I'm just saying the style. I think he throws a lot of anticipation throws with accuracy and windows. He doesn't have Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle making big plays for him either. I just don't think he can get the ball downfield. I don't think he has the arm strength to do it, and I don't think Tua does either.
Yeah.
What's the spread currently?
I think there were 7, something like that.
I don't know.
I think it was 7.
7.
Opened
That's
at like
what it
7,
was.
7.5.
Yeah. Yeah, I keep an eye on Njoku today on the injury report,
Yeah.
see what his status is like. He's, I think a matchup problem. He's just a big athletic guy. And yeah, I'd also just say I really liked Isaiah Bond. Like I just think he's explosive, kind of circled him before he had some off the field issues in the draft that dropped him out of that. But him and Jeudy breaking a tackle, making a big play, those kind of things. You want to avoid those in turnovers. Just don't allow signs of life. Don't let the complexion of the game change. We saw it last week. Once the Patriots got a lead, it was kind of over for that Tennessee offense. I think a similar thing would happen this week, especially at home. Fans are going to be jacked up. I mean, this team is coming back on a roll. People are going to want to be here to see Drake May. I think if they can capitalize on that energy right out of the gate, start fast on both sides of the ball, be a really good formula.
Yeah, I would really try to push the ball down the field offensively early. Like if you can draw up, maybe leave the tight ends in, go 7-man protect, move the pocket, get them out, and throw one of those bombs to Booty or Douglas or something like that, and just get points up on the board as quickly as you can.
Yeah.
Because as soon as you get this Browns team off schedule offensively, they're going to be in trouble.
If you win the toss, you defer, get their offense on.
I would, yeah. I was just
get that
thinking
change of
exact thing.
position on the field.
And just let the crazy fans who are going to be amped for this game, make a lot of noise, make it tough on them right out of the gate. Try to get that immediate advantage by forcing a punt. I think it'd be a great way to start. I just think the Patriots need to
My answer
reestablish
to that. Every game. Yes.
every day.
Weather.
Looks like
right
it's
now
going to be a little
cloudy
chilly.
and, but okay.
7, by the way, is the spread.
7.
Patriots by 7.
But I'd say this is
So it's 10.
a good game to continue that
4.
step for the Patriots of reassert your
Nah,
dominance at home.
4.
Sorry, I was getting on a phone. Frep was riffing there. But,
No, Mike,
just
go ahead.
this is they've been great on the road, but you got to beat teams like this at home. Like this has to be the no-brainer games where this is an overmatched team. You're streaking, you're playing well. Don't regress at home. Establish this place as a place that's hard to play and a place that you want to play in the playoffs and make it hard to play.
I think this game, and I said this last week about the Titans. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. Like this is how good is Drake May against the Browns defense. This is not like the Browns are going to come in here and win this game. Like this Browns offense is not going to win this game. Like they don't have the horses to do it. Like, yeah, Judkins can like break like a 45-yard run like he did last week, but if you don't turn the ball over 5 times, like that's all that they had.
Yeah.
Like in the entire game.
Who's got the better offense, the Titans or the Browns?
They're 30th, and I think they're 31st and 32nd. I think, in all sincerity,
Right.
that's how bad they are.
Yeah, I mean, I'd probably take the Browns just because of Judy and Njoku.
I'd take the Titans because I think Cam Ward's better than Dylan Gabriel.
Yeah, I think I might be with Paul because of Cam Ward.
That's fair.
Okay. What about the special teams matchup? I hear the Browns is horrid.
Yes, they're bad on special
30th
teams.
in DVOA, I think.
Yep, I think that's another area. Like there's just not a lot of areas in this matchup that favor Cleveland. There really isn't.
Old friend Bubba Ventrone not getting the job done, Freddie?
Well, I guess not. They're not giving him the personnel.
I would have no idea. I leave that to you guys.
If there was like an angle, it might be a little bit like more interesting. But like, I'm sure Vrabel also has a ton of institutional knowledge of this Browns team.
Yeah.
And he's a very like observant person. So I'm sure the fact that he was in their building for an entire year last year.
Yep.
Especially their offensive line, right?
Yeah, is going to be worth watching. You know how much they're kind of on it, and we've talked a lot about their defensive struggles early. Like, does that help? That he kind of knows this Browns offense inside and out.
Good point.
And maybe they can start a little faster on defense.
Yeah, and what is Stefanski going to scheme up on offense, and are they starting to anticipate and be ready for those kind of things?
So going back to the special teams, I was thinking on one of my drives up here when I have a lot of time to think. Aside from the actual punter or kicker, if you have a bad special teams unit on coverage, whether it's kicks or punts, it's coaching.
Yeah.
Because all these athletes that are on these special teams units they're about the same. They're all the guys that they're all decent athletes that came out of college, and it's how you coach them is how well they play and motivate them is how well they play on coverage units. And if you're bottom of the league, it's coaching to me.
That's a good observation.
It's
Fred.
not roster.
I agree. I mean, it's not a place where there's a lot of talent. I mean, maybe you could say Matthew Slater is a kind of player.
Yeah,
that
when you get those outliers,
a little extra talent. I mean, but I mean, really, it's this guy didn't stay in his lane, and that's why they. But it wasn't. He just wasn't fast enough. Like it's really more of a team situation, I guess. But what would you say about the punters and the kickers? Like how reflective is?
Well, so now you get into an individual athlete.
I don't think that has anything to do with coaching.
Right.
I never blame the special teams coach when a kicker misses a field goal.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Unless it's just operational time after time, then you're not coaching. They're not, I don't know, the reps aren't there or whatever. But if it's operationally bad, then.
Yeah, what about punter though? Like, would you put any coaching on that? No, like because sometimes
the
it's
actual
like
punting
shit,
itself.
we needed that one out of bounds, or we needed this. Like there is some like
directional.
We need this.
Yeah, but I blame
directional
the punter for not punting it where he's supposed to.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
assuming that
he
the
just
coach
can't do it.
Yeah, assuming the coach told him what to do.
Right.
Yeah.
And I do. I go into it like when it's fourth down, I assume that the coaches say we need to get the first down here.
Right.
And that to me is the same. I'm being dead serious.
Yeah. No, I know.
The specialists, I'm with Fred.
But the punter can't say, "Well, you're not putting me in a position to succeed." Right. I'm sorry. I'm asking you to
when you're lining up for a plus 50 punt and you hit it into the stands, I don't think it's because the coach didn't tell you. We were trying to pin him inside the 10.
Right. So it's just interesting.
When Marcus Jones returns 188 yards, and then the next time you kick it right down the middle of the field, right to Marcus Jones, I have a hard time blaming the coach for that.
Now, one thing I will say about special team stats is when you look at the separation of like 10th to 15th, it's sometimes it's not very large. Somebody has to be the worst and somebody has to be the best based on stats, but sometimes those stats even then can be deceiving.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting. Since we're on the subject, the kickoff.
Bart's gonna pop back into the room right now.
The kickoff return.
Right now he's driving home school.
Oh man, I should have stayed.
Well, he's waiting for Braves. The kickoff return.
Pants on or pants off while he waits.
Has kind of been a dud. It's kind of been a dud. Like it's working in the sense that there are definitely more returns. The returns are up across the board, but the return average and the amount of big returns that they're getting. There's only been one kickoff return for a touchdown. It was Antonio Gibson in week 2 in the entire NFL. So like it's worked in the sense that the ball's in play,
They're physically returning more kicks, but the numbers aren't what they thought.
Yeah.
This is what we talked about. Like, I hate the term dynamic
So
kickoff return.
who's the
'cause
best
it's not
returner
dynamic.
in the NFL right now?
The best kickoff returner?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Jamal Agnew, probably. But like,
Who's he on?
I think that Tampa, I want to say,
Yeah.
So my hypothesis in asking that question is, we don't have any great athletes right now returning kicks. Like,
Oh, I disagree with that.
okay,
I mean, there's great athletes across the league.
tell me, but like, who is the the great
Devin
kick
Hester-
returner
the
of
Devin
our
Hester
era
kick
of
returner?
right
Well,
now?
Yeah, I mean, I suppose, like Cordell Patterson's, not playing right now, so I guess like he's out. But like, I mean, I don't know. Like, you watch the league and you don't think that like the skill position players have great
Well,
talent. Like,
do a lot of teams, and I don't know the answer to this, I'm asking, do a lot of teams use their first string guys? Are they willing to risk them on kicks the way injuries are in the league now? Like,
not necessarily, but I don't think that that's the main issue. I think the main issue is that the play is a lot harder to block than they anticipated. And Jeremy Springer talked about this, I think it was last week, in his press conference, that, it's like 5 yards of separation between the guys that they're blocking and the ball.
right?
So like it happens so quickly, and there's a lot of space that you have to be able to block the guy, and he could go around you either way. It's a really hard block to execute.
So I have a I have a.
Well,
new
can I pick is it something with?
Okay.
I'm just curious. You're fixating on the returners, or they're not the athletes. Who would you consider in recent time, like say the last 15, 20 years, the best returners?
Tampa or Atlanta.
Oh, I don't know.
Who's that? Jacoby from the Ravens? that
Jacoby
returned?
Jones.
Jacoby Jones.
I think
Kobe
it's
Jones.
pretty good,
he'd
right?
be an example. Devin Hester.
Devin Hester,
Cordero
right?
Patterson.
Not
Yeah.
starters.
Yeah.
Like it's not like that teams are not risking their frontline players now because of injury, and they used to do it before. It's the same caliber of returners. I think there's some differences of opinion in terms of body types for punts and kicks now because of the stuff that Evan's talking about with the closed quarters. Jeremy Springer has talked about liking a running back as opposed to, a defensive back or a wide receiver because of the size and the ability to break tackles and whatnot.
I have a revolutionary.
But I don't think there's a lot of frontline players that over the years returning kicks.
I have a revolutionary tactic that special teams could incorporate to block these
Now this
kicks.
so you should get off the phone.
So here's how it works, right? So kick happens. No one can move until the kicker has the ball, right? At that moment, the return team gets up from their stance or from the line, and instead of engaging with the guy, they all act like vices. So they go down the field with the player. They mirror the player, and they don't engage until a certain point. So in other words, they're not holding their block a distance. They're holding their block closer, and it gives the returner more options. You know what I'm saying? So that the blocking doesn't start until further down the field.
Well, there's just a lot
So
of.
it's a bunch of vice guys running
Well, you
with
can't-
gunners.
But you can't vice anymore. So like,
No. But I'm not saying like you get together, but like
Yeah.
it's a bunch of guys mirroring guys down the field, and then at some point they turn and engage, and the runner
So treat it more like a punt.
treat it more like a punt.
So you think punts have better
No,
returns?
but this is different.
kicks?
This is different.
I
because
see it
on
on the
punts,
board.
It's
you
hard,
can,
that would make it harder because
On
you'd
punt-
have 10 guys to deal with instead of 2.
on punts you can start running the moment it's punted.
No, that's why it would be harder on a kick with 10 guys down there instead of 2.
Now you
There's only 2 guys that can
yeah.
can go down there.
yeah.
it just like now with the new kickoff, I just think that it's the coverage team and the return team, the blockers in the like zone that they're set up in,
Yep.
they're too close together.
Right.
It's too hard to make the block.
That's my point.
And so now it's like literally like getting to like the 30 is like good job. Like if you return it to the 30 or further down, like that's considered a successful return. Whereas I think the league thought that there was going to be big returns off of this. Now, the only other thing I would say is that the rules don't really allow you to double team or vice as you were talking about like as much. There's like all sorts of rules against it now because of player safety. So like since you can't like form a wall like they used to be able to, then you can't really like do that anymore. So now it's literally just like 9 one-on-ones
Right.
across the board.
Right.
And so it's just like the defense is actually, the coverage team is the one that's actually building the wall. and it's just there's not enough space. And so like now that these returns is just running into a brick wall, and I don't think the play is that exciting. Like it's in play, but it's just not that exciting. Last thing on this, like they don't really do anything fancy. I think a lot of people thought that the returned units, they would try reverses, they would try throwbacks.
I did see a reverse the other night. I haven't seen a throwback.
Yeah.
Someone did a reverse in one of the games that I watched. It didn't work.
But even the reverses don't really work from that distance. You know what I mean? Because like if you said if the coverage team is building a wall, they see it all in front of them happening, and you can react.
Yeah. So I thought that some of these coordinators would maybe get a little bit more creative with how they return it. But I think what's happened is that like the risk is not worth the reward unless it's like a certain situation. Because if there's a ball security issue, if you put the ball on the ground like that's worse than just getting to the 25-yard line and putting your offense on the field. So I don't know. It just hasn't worked.
But I do like the fact that it's gotten the ball in play more. Like there are more returns. So
you can't argue that.
Yeah.
The returns are way up. The number of actual returns is up.
Yeah. So there's that opportunity of something to happen. So at least it's worth watching.
Yeah.
You know, like something could happen.
Yeah.
I mean, I love it. I think that like the fact that I have dissected it as much as I have, I think tells you that it's like a real play now.
Yeah, it's worked.
It's a play
that you have to like factor into things, because now with like the dirty kicks too, like you can really pin teams. Like you can get teams down inside the 20-yard line and put them on long fields. Like it's a lot of teams that are good at it have done really well with that. So it's kind of like a strategy thing now.
All right, 855-PATS-500.
Good special teams
There you
talk.
go.
Is the hotline, podcast@patriots.com is the email address. Again, Mike Vrabel coming up at about 12:55. So we'll break at that point and feed him live to you. So I want to get people find out what their thoughts on the Cleveland Browns are, if they have any. So let's open it up. We'll start with old friend Christian in L.A. What's up, Christian?
Hey, good afternoon. Good afternoon to you guys. Well, before I get to my football stuff, I'm going to go straight at Paul.
Uh-oh.
Paul.
Captain Cranky. Captain Cranky. It seems like every time I call, I make my point. You immediately disagree with the point. And then for the rest of the show, slowly agree with the point.
Wow.
Every single time.
Wow.
So let's see if today you do the same thing.
All right, let's hold on a second. What was the
Yeah.
point that you made that I disagreed with when you called most recently, and then I eventually agreed with it?
I said that I felt like the team might just be a paper tiger. Like we play some teams that aren't that great. Everyone's talking.
And I
about
couldn't
the playoffs.
possibly disagree with that more.
Us getting there. Wait a minute. Us getting there, and you said I disagree vehemently. I think this team is going to be okay. If we got to the playoffs, why would we worry? And then the rest of the show, all you did was say, well, we got to talk about the other side. We haven't really played anyone. You know, this team, we haven't proven ourselves yet.
That's not the same thing.
Same exact thing I was making.
It's not
It
the
is
same thing.
I
You
said
think
this
that they're
team-
not very good. I'm not saying anything. I'm
that's
saying
not what I said.
why would you be upset at 5-2? You were upset that they were 5-2 because they haven't beat anybody. That's what I disagreed with. And you're worried about losing the first game of the playoffs and losing a draft pick, which you actually talked about on Sunday. You're talking about getting a worse draft pick. Who cares?
I wasn't upset about them winning. What I said was, I'm glad that we won. Everything looks good. My greatest fear
Yes.
is that
And that's the part I disagreed
we
with.
might just be a paper
Why you're
tiger.
worrying about draft picks instead of worrying about getting better every week. That's the
worried
part I
about-
don't understand. And I disagreed with that when you
I'm not
said
worried
it,
about
and
the
I
draft
disagree
pick,
with that
Paul.
now. I didn't change my view on that.
Paul, what I said and what you said were the same thing. The team might be a little bit overrated right now.
Well, then I didn't say that. So we're not saying the same thing.
Paul, you literally said we got to go on the other side and make sure we're talking about the team hasn't really played anyone yet, and our schedule's been soft. That's that.
That's not the
Let's
same
see if you
thing as
agree
saying
with
they're
me.
overrated.
A paper tiger doesn't mean overrated. It means that we're good, but we might not be as good as everyone thinks we are.
Paper
That
tiger.
was the point.
Kind of the definition of over.
Thank you,
Ever heard
Fred.
that saying before?
A rare
All
time
right,
that Fred
Christian.
rallies to my defense.
Nice try today. I'll give you credit. I'll give you good effort. I like it.
He
I like
actually
it.
said he's worried that they're going to lose the first playoff game
Yep.
and therefore get a worse draft pick as a result than they should. You were there. What do you
I
like?
was there.
You're
No, I
pretending
just,
like
So
no,
that was
I
on the
didn't say I
pregame
know,
show?
but
The
I-
post-game
it's
show.
Oh, the
ridiculous.
post-game show.
And I just I went on a rant. It was just like, they're 5-2. They won 4 games each of the last 2 years. They're 5-2. And we're worried about not quite being as good as our record. Maybe they're not. But I don't understand why you worry about it. Why would that bother you right now? But because I got news for you. You're just playing teams like this the rest of the way. You got a couple of, you got Buffalo again. You got Baltimore, who I assume will be in a better spot when they play them down the road than they
Tampa
are
Bay.
now. Okay? There's not many teams that you won't be able to compete with. I don't know why you would look at the playoff picture in the AFC right now and say, I don't know how we're gonna be able to stack up against Indianapolis. I don't know how we're gonna end up playing if we have to play the Chargers or the Broncos. We got no shot. I don't know why you would spend time worrying about that right now. That's the part I disagreed with. Instead of worrying about draft picks for next year, worry about, can Drake May continue to stack these games the way he has the last month? Can he even be better than this? A lot of people who analyze the tape from the Tennessee game think he left some plays on the field. Like Evan was talking about yesterday. Could he be even better than this?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you spend time being excited about that instead of worried about
Christian,
drafting 17th instead
Good job.
of...
I don't know what your motivation was for the call, but if it was to get under Paul's skin, good job.
I think the one
Patriots fans are just so insufferable sometimes.
I think the one concern
Now he's
I don't even know
going
if it's
against
a
the whole fan base.
I don't know
Let's
if it's
go.
a concern, but
Let's go.
Like last year, the Commanders, Jaden Daniels plays out of his mind as a rookie and gets them to the NFC Championship game. Now he's had some injuries this year. They haven't they really just haven't across the board been as good. And so my whole thing, big picture, is not draft picks. It's just how do you keep it going, right? How do you keep it going even past this season? If they continue on this path and they go to the playoffs and how do we, to go back, how do you avoid the 2022 Mac Jones
Regression,
Patriots?
slide back, yeah.
And he's much better than Mac. But that whole thing, I think the Commanders are coming back down to earth this year. And so a lot of that's because Daniels has been hurt. But some of it is because Daniels has been hurt. Some of it's because maybe they overachieved.
Yeah.
Christian would have been pissed if he was a Washington fan because they went all the way to the NFC Championship game. What's the difference if you don't win at all?
I just felt like when they were here for the joint practice, and I know McLaurin didn't practice, and that's a big factor. When I looked at the two teams on the field, though, I didn't think the talent gap was all that big between the Commanders and the Patriots, and that was a team that was just in the NFC Championship game the year before.
It's an example of a team that got carried by its quarterback.
Right, and I'm worried that this team is getting carried by its quarterback.
Yeah.
Well, okay, but that's different. Worrying about sustainability and getting better and continuing, just this, oh, woe is me, we're not going to get a draft pick. And I guess basically everybody's entitled to feel the way they feel. Okay, I say that all the time. So I'm not attacking Christian for feeling the way he feels. What I would take exception to is that somehow he interpreted that after the call, it was a shtick. I just disagree with Christian when he calls, and then a half hour later I was with him. I'm not with you. I've never been that line of thought I will never be with. When you're a fan of a team and they're winning games, yes, you recognize the flaws and the faults, and you hope that they improve on those.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? But I would rather lose than go to the playoffs so I can get a better draft pick.
I think a lot of fans have.
I never said that.
I think a lot of fans have this notion that if you have a low draft pick, you can't improve. If you finish well and pick low in every round,
how the high draft class is working out for him recently.
Yeah, right. That's just not true. If you have a good personnel department, you can still get good guys at the bottom of the first round, bottom of the second round, and you can do well in free agency. And by the way, if you're a better team, more free agents want to come to play with you. So you can improve.
You can, but
you're with them
a little bit. If I'm Washington,
the analytics guys are
That's right.
very draft oriented.
That's right.
Draft picks, currency.
It's twofold though. One, just looking at it realistically, Washington spent a bunch of money in last offseason. They're not going to go out and spend a bunch more money. It's just not how ownership in any sport works. When you have an off-season spending spree,
I agree. Don't expect to repeat what the Patriots did this year in the offseason.
Correct.
Next year.
So you're not going to be big spenders in free agency, and your roster wasn't as good as it looked. your quarterback had an unbelievable season. So the Commanders had more holes on their roster than it looked because Jaden Daniels was that good. So now if you're Washington, it
Worked for 20 years.
It was great to go to the NFC Championship game, I am sure. You went to the NFC Championship game, you got your doors blown off of you, and now you're 3-4 the following year because your roster wasn't really all that good.
Well, wait a minute now. Hold on. Is the roster worse than it was last year?
No.
Okay, so why? There's another reason why.
Well, the quarterback's been hurt. That's why their
Exactly.
record is what it is. But Evan's larger point is they weren't as good as 12-5 would indicate.
No, I know, but if
And I
you
agree
have a
with that
great
point.
quarterback, you can overcome that. And while you're overcoming it with your quarterback, you can get incrementally better every year.
But I would argue
doesn't mean you
that-
have to have a top 5 pick every year.
I'm not saying top 5. I would argue that Jaden Daniels could have had a great year as a rookie, and they could have had like the 18th pick in the first round of the draft instead of picking at the bottom of the first round of the draft.
He'd have still been hurt this year, and they would have problems.
I guarantee you their GM would have said it wouldn't have been the worst thing in the world.
It was-
Because we
no, but-
have the quarterback.
No, because he
but
wants
we're-
to have draft pick. But
we're
if
still
Jaden
building it.
Daniels is
Jamar
hurt,
Chase-
they're
Jamar
not going to
Chase.
be good. I don't care who they
Okay,
pick.
but I'm not talking about injuries. Like you can't.
Well, we
anticipate-
are there because
but-
that's the current state of that team.
I don't think that they would be.
I don't think that's the only reason.
I don't think that's the only reason.
I don't think Daniels has played as well when he's been healthy. But I would also say
Well, then maybe he's not that good.
we have to do that.
Because if he's like elevating,
Drake May's better.
He's elevating.
Oh, I
the
think
roster
Drake
to
May's
an
better, but I
insane
thought that
level.
last year.
Right.
When I got laughed at.
Like he's elevating the roster last year to an insane level. You can't expect even the great quarterbacks to do that every single year. So like at some
Yes,
point,
you can.
You can't. I'm sorry.
Great
you can't.
quarterbacks, yes, you can.
You can't though.
I mean, maybe Mahomes can, but that's a hard way to do it. Brady did it for years. There's a select
Right.
group that you're talking
Well, there's a
about.
select group that are great.
I don't know if Drake
Not
May
every
and Jaden
quarterback
Daniels
is
are going to
great.
be those
Yeah.
guys yet.
Yeah.
I mean, they've only played 2 seasons, not even 2 seasons yet.
I just think that there's.
I also
something
think
to be
there's a
said
huge
for
thing in
being
Washington.
like a year ahead. It's a slower build than that. Sometimes.
It's why it's very common in sports to take a step, like two steps forward and 1 step back. It's a common thing in all sports.
Yes.
Yeah.
That it
is.
happens all the time
It's
for
hard.
exactly what Evan said, because maybe you won more games than you probably should have.
Paul, what did we
in
say?
one particular
what
year?
did we say before the season even started about the Commanders?
We thought
Both
that they
of
would
us.
take a step back
Both
because,
of us.
but my biggest reason was twofold. Number one, Evan mentioned it, but it kind of glossed over. They were a mess in the summer with Terry McLaurin. That whole situation was not an ideal way to go about business heading into a season. That was a completely avoidable mistake that they had. And oh, by the way, McLaurin has been hurt, which I don't think is a coincidence. When you don't do anything all summer, you end up getting hurt early in the season, and now you get your quarterback and your best offensive player hurt. But the other thing is, all of those games you win on the last play of the game. There's a regression to the mean that's inevitable
it's fool's gold
when you do that.
Yeah.
They
I
had
said it 'cause
5
I have a
games.
feel for the league.
They had 5 touchdowns in the last 30 seconds. 5 go-ahead touchdowns. Do you know how hard that is? I'll tell you, it's never happened before. That's how hard it is. Like, there's no way that you can possibly replicate that.
No.
That's why I thought they would take a step back.
It was fool's gold, and so like, I just feel like maybe there's something to be said for like taking smaller incremental steps. And I'm not telling the Patriots to go purposely go out and lose games to do that, but I'm just saying like,
Winning is good, period.
The Commanders they would have won anyways though. Like they still would have won to an acceptable level, but the way that they did it ended up actually kind of hurting them in the long run.
Yeah, I mean, you could make that argument. I wouldn't. I think that the benefit that they get from going to the NFC Championship vastly outweighs being 10 spots later in the draft, in my view. I'm with Fred on that 100%. I understand what your point is. I just don't.
If you're not going to spend the money in
I'm
free
not
agency, though, where's the talent coming
But I'm
from?
not, the draft. Why can't you draft? Why
guys
did
act like
Belichick
you-
do it all the time?
Belichick didn't do it all the time.
I can show you from 2001 to 2012 when he did it all the time.
What about the Steelers?
with better
They're
draft
perennially a winning team, yet they
they were
draft
picking
well.
30 seconds all the time, Ev.
Not all the time.
I mean, Logan Mankins, 32.
Richard Seymour, not 32.
Okay, well, that's the very first
Okay,
one.
but like that's what
Once
I'm
they
talking
got
about.
good, I said he continued to draft at a high level. You're getting like Dan Copens and Asante Samuels in the middle rounds.
Yes, it's really hard to
Eugene
do.
Wilson. You know, they had a lot of good players that they picked, not with top draft picks.
That's really hard to do.
But he did it for 12 years.
Bill did it. good.
He did.
That's why he's going to the Hall of Fame.
So, let's just not give these guys an out and say, well, I would have liked to have drafted, but instead of picking 18th, I had to pick 28th.
I'm not giving them an out. You just are acting like it's so easy to go find Pro Bowl players in the 3rd and 4th round of the draft when it's not. Like, it's
I didn't
not
say
that
Pro Bowl.
easy.
It's just good
Okay, well, you named
good
Asante
players.
Samuel. It's a Pro Bowler. Like,
Hall of Fame.
Eugene
final
Wilson,
winner.
Dan Copen, just good players, not Pro Bowls.
Okay, but it's just not that easy. It's not that easy.
Well, I think this is all a result of Christian's call. So good job, Christian.
Yeah, in retrospect, I'll give Christian, no, in all seriousness, I'll give him the nod because he spurred some. Well, and you have Evan on your side.
I'm
He
not,
doesn't want to
I'm
win
not all
either.
the
That's a
way-
shot.
I'm
That's
not
a
all
shot.
the way to top 5 pick. It's just like there's this happy median here. Like, look at the Detroit Lions. Like, the Lions took stepping stones. They were bad in Dan Campbell's first year, then they were mediocre.
And you're
in his
saying if
second year.
that first year, lightning struck and they made it to the NFC Championship, they wouldn't have been able to get
No,
that.
because they wouldn't have Jameer Gibbs.
Forget
they
the
wouldn't
first
have Jack
year.
Campbell. They wouldn't have Brian Branch. They wouldn't have Sam Laporta. Like, they wouldn't have all these players.
I don't really
there's no one
know.
else they could have
I
gotten.
really don't know why they wouldn't have had all of those players. But anyway,
They wouldn't have had
the first year
first
they
two,
were
I
they were a
named.
3-win team. So we're not talking about the first year. We're talking about the second year. Okay, the second year they went 9-8.
Yep.
Could they have easily gone 10-7, made the playoffs, and made a run, just like the Commanders did? Yeah, that could have happened, and that would have been a bad thing.
I'm not saying it would have been a bad thing. I'm just saying that in retrospect, it ended up working out for them in terms of sustainability a little bit better. Like, that's how you get Gibbs. That's how you get Campbell. That's how you get those guys in there. Like,
So,
if you don't,
But
if
the
you don't
thing,
have
Evan,
the
is what I'm saying is you're making it out to be a zero-sum game. Like, in order to get Gibbs is not a great example because he was what was he, like 12?
yeah.
Okay, so maybe you don't get Gibbs, but you can get Sam Laporta, and you can get Jack Campbell, and you can get some of the other
Sure.
guys that are centerpieces of their team, as opposed to Jalen Polk. Like, you don't have to.
But
You
could
have
also
to
get-
hit the pick.
But you could
like
also
you don't
get
have to
Jalen
have a
Polk.
high pick to hit the pick. You have to hit the pick when you make it. Whatever it is, you got to get good players. They used to be able to do that. They haven't been able to do it more recently. I agree with you. That's the only way to build a championship roster because you can't just do it in free agency every year. No one
That's true.
does.
That's
You
true.
can't. So
That's
I agree
true.
with Evan's point. I just disagree that if they had won another game or two, well, forget Sam Laporta. No, like you could still
No,
draft
just
good
forget
players.
Jameer Gibbs, who's like a
Jameer
top 5
Gibbs
running
would-
back in the NFL.
Jameer Gibbs they got because they had the 2 picks, right?
They had the 2 picks, but they had extra draft
But
capital.
they had extra capital and they made a
up.
move.
They moved up slightly though. It was like
Right.
But they
you
were
can,
in the middle
but
of the
you can
round
do
and
that.
they
So
moved
like
to,
they,
12 or 11.
yeah. I mean, it's not like he was, like Jamar Chase that you.
Well,
brought
that's
up,
the Evans
who's the
dream
fifth-
scenario,
who's the
right? Like
fifth
that,
pick.
like, you're like,
Yes.
well, he got hurt, right?
Kind of. I mean, like, I don't need to go up that high. I don't. And I'm enjoying that they're winning games and all that good stuff. But I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I understand both sides of it.
These draft picks.
I mean,
you know what?
Their,
I'm gonna-
their season is the spring.
I'm gonna
every year and get talent.
But I'm going to say it again. I mean, this is what Christian was
sorry.
talking about.
Like, I know
and
they did it, but they
I
can't
guess
do
I owe
it.
Christian and I'm being dead serious
Oh,
here.
yeah,
I think
yeah.
I'll step back. Maybe I didn't look at it the way Christian.
We should let these two draft because if you're drafting 30th in the first round, they'd find the guys.
I
Like,
didn't say
that's-
I would. It's not my job. Ev.
Okay, but that's not like you look at any of the teams across the board. Who does it consistently? Bill did it consistently and built a dynasty. That is the greatest dynasty in the history of sports. So that's
I think
the
Baltimore's
standard.
done it pretty consistently.
Yeah.
I think Pittsburgh has done it
Pittsburgh
pretty
does it pretty
consistently.
well.
I mean, I'm not telling you every pick is a
Pittsburgh
home run.
picks in the middle of the round every year. They're 9-8.
They're a playoff team every year, so they're picking
Okay,
in the
they
bottom
pick
12.
18th.
Or bottom 14 now because they expanded the playoffs. They're picking in the bottom 14 somewhere, so they're picking the
just said
second half of the
18th.
round. Like
I-
you don't have. Well, that's what we're talking about.
No,
Going
we-
9-8. You said that was the
No.
biggest difference for the Detroit.
We're
That's
talk-
what I mean. 9
we're
and 8
talking
doesn't
about
get you in the top 10.
Commanders who picked what 28th, 29th in the first round because they went to the NFC Championship game.
Because they made a run once they got in the playoffs.
Well, they were 12 and 5. That's a good record. That's why they picked late when they did. But I mean, we're advocating going from 28 to 18. That's the difference. Again, I just don't believe that that's the difference between getting Sam Laporta and not
Not Sam Laporta, but
getting Jack Campbell.
Like all these guys that are picked in the top 20 every year, like there's a big discrepancy between the guys that are picked inside the top 20 and outside the top 20. Like it's
So how come the Jets suck?
bad drafting.
all of it.
Okay. They
Bad
pick
for you.
low every year.
And they draft poorly.
And a lot of
But
teams
like
are
we
stuck
can
in
use that as an example for any team.
I
don't
know,
understand
but
what that
it's
means.
how you
Like,
draft. It's not where you draft.
Fred, you can't just draft at the bottom of the first round and expect to find the pillars of your organization down there. Like that's not like
Tough.
That's not going to happen. Like I look at this stuff every single year. Like for 6 months, you're not going to just find Penny Sewell at 32 overall. Like that's not going to happen.
No.
And the Patriots' turnaround has been largely predicated on
Drake
drafting
May,
high.
Christian Gonzalez, Will Campbell.
That's where the talent has finally come
Christian
from.
Gonzalez is one of those guys in the middle of the round. You can get those
15th,
guys.
not 29th.
17th, I believe.
I'll leave you on that.
All right. We have our.
He just did a Belichick.
And
on
you're
it.
just leaving now? You're just gonna walk?
4th and 1. It was 4th and
Look,
2.
he's upset. He's really upset. He's gonna walk to the press conference just mumbling to himself. He's gonna walk down to the service center muttering.
That's good stuff.
You gotta draft.
That's good
Like,
stuff.
he's really upset.
He's not real.
I didn't want to chime in and break up
Why
the
not?
flow. I want to let the flow. You guys were. I mean, he was in a fight, but I mean, I also the question I have is there institutional value from going to an AFC
That's what I said.
from a conference championship game?
course it
Does that
is.
help
They
you build the
benefited more
program?
from that experience.
You're going to lose
picking
draft.
10.
You're going to lose draft status, but what does the organization view as? And I'm sure that there's a bottom line component financially of making the conference championship game too. But no, that was great stuff.
No, and I know that it's going to sound like it's sounding like it's disingenuous. This is what the point that Christian was making that I disagreed with, and obviously Evan disagrees with it too. My only thing with what Christian was saying that I took exception to today's call is that he claims somehow that I changed my view a half hour later. I don't. I still
you don't usually
maintain
do that.
I want to win. I think winning is good, and I think losing is bad. I don't think that's that controversial of a take.
Yeah. There were two things, though, I was thinking about is that we talk all the time about the free agency, the big free agent class, and then there's usually a regression to the mean the next year, regardless of who it was.
Because you're not going to go back into that market and invest the same way. Nobody does.
Yeah, but even the guys that you maintain, it's like asking Bobby Wagner at whatever he is, 35, to continue to play at a high level. And the other thing is it's just Jaden Daniels is more experienced. Like I think there's a big difference between him year 1, year 2 than Drake May, where you feel like this is the first time Drake has had an offensive coordinator, that he's getting into a system that he's used to, and hopefully can have some continuity between this year and next year, which was the biggest problem in 22 when you ripped that from Matt.
Right, and you can nitpick a little bit, with Washington and say like, well, did they make the right personnel moves around their young quarterback to get better? And maybe I don't know enough about their roster building from last year to this year to honestly be able to give a
wise Jonathan Jones.
No, but like I'm talking about the draft. I don't know who they drafted. To be honest with you, I don't know their draft class. Off the top of my head, I would say another similar kind of organization would be Houston. Houston got the rookie quarterback in C.J. Stroud, who I think is terrific, and I still think he's terrific. Did they do enough around him? They went year 2. They won the division again. But he took a step back. They weren't as good offensively because the offensive line wasn't good. Then they went out and they really didn't go hogtail and invest in the offensive line. They kind of waited. They got a kid who looks okay, but hasn't been a world beater. I think Ursary, right?
Yeah.
Ariante Ursary. Didn't they draft him? Did I get that right?
So. Oh, you got the name right. I'm pretty sure they get it.
So, I don't know enough about each step of the team building process that those teams made. But that to me would be the fear I would worry about moving forward. Will they do enough with the young quarterback to take the next steps? So you go from being a playoff team to a title contender.
Yeah.
And I agree with Christian. I don't think this is a title contending roster right now, but that doesn't mean that you can't win games.
Yeah, I think Houston's a good example too of that. Just because a team like the Patriots, Drake May having a great season right now, it doesn't mean the trajectory is like, this year you make to the first round of the playoffs. Next year you're going to be in the divisional round. And then after that you're in it's not that kind of. And Houston's a great example of that. Like it's hard to keep it all together on that
and I'll
straight
just say
trajectory.
The last thing, Fred, on this is piggybacking on Mike's point. There's nothing guaranteed.
No.
Like I don't know what it's going to look like next year for the Patriots.
That's right.
I don't know what Drake May's going to look like next year. I know right now he's playing at an exceptionally high level. So I want that to continue, and I want them to continue winning games, and I want them to make a run. And if they do, that's great. If they don't, I'll hope that it wasn't fool's gold.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
Right.
And I'll hope that they can get better. But
All
I
right.
don't know it's not guaranteed next year. what's going to happen.
Let's hit the phones. Going to do it quickly because we might have to cut you off for Vrabel. But first, we'll start with Herm in D.C. What's up, Herm?
Hey, what's going on, guys? How you doing?
Good.
Herm? Doing great.
You got to be quick.
Most an observation, question. So the discourse around the defense, right? We have I believe, the top 5 scoring defense in the entire NFL. And I believe Mike referenced yesterday how Spencer Rattler and Cam Ward carved this up. There's a little bit of context towards it, right? Spencer Rattler was the number 1 high school quarterback coming out, and it went to OU. And Cam Ward is the number 1 pick in the NFL draft. So, yes, obviously they will complete some passes. But I just want everybody to, take a little chill pill. I think the defense is fine. Yes, it's not ideal that we've given up scoring drives to open up the last few games. But ultimately, if you're just going up and down the field, all you do is accomplish nothing in terms of cardio, right? As long as you keep the teams out of the end zone and you control the run, I think we'll be okay, and that's it.
Yeah, but
thank you, guys.
I hear what you're saying, and the bottom line is how many points are you giving up? And they're doing.
I think that's fool's gold.
And they're doing well
say
there.
Bottom line is the points allowed.
But the thing is that overall those offenses don't score a lot of points. Right. And the one that we're playing this week doesn't score a lot of points. So if the Patriots don't allow them to score a lot of points, well, that's kind of what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be a big test in 2 weeks when they play Atlanta. I think Atlanta can put some points up.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
I think Tampa Bay
they
can
put yards up. They don't put points up.
And I
don't know how they only scored 10 against San Francisco with all those guys out. I really don't.
Yeah.
But I think Tampa Bay can put. So there's some tests. I think this week is a great test for the Patriots offense. I think there's some weeks coming up that will be better tests for the defense than we've had so far. So we'll see. This is all to be seen with this team.
No, it's a fascinating disparity in that they are a top 10 team in points and yards and that stuff, but DVOA they're 28th, which is adjusted to opponents. So our job now is this could be a good team. What are the flaws?
Right.
Is the defense really good enough? Those are the things that we're trying to analyze, and you can't ignore that number, DVOA 28th. That's that's a warning sign.
We'll see.
What is the Browns defense DVOA?
11th. Oh no, wait, sorry, they're in the top 10. I think they're 5th, maybe.
Oh,
I gotta look.
So better than I thought.
Okay. Sam's in Easton. What's up, Sam?
Hey guys, pivoting off what you were just talking about, I want to talk about the Monday night game, what Detroit showed on defense. I feel like they kind of provided a little bit of a blueprint, with pressure on Mayfield. Didn't think he was particularly accurate. I think he's pretty overrated as a passer in general, but curious what you guys saw and what you thought of that depleted secondary just shutting them down. I think we should win that game even without Mike Evans. I just think we're the better team.
Yeah, they certainly got to Mayfield and gave him trouble. Thanks, Sam. So
I don't think you're the better team in that game. I'm not telling you can't
Hutchinson
win it.
We don't have a Hutchinson, right?
That's fair.
Baker Mayfield was dreadfully bad in that game.
Yeah.
He was off. He had all kinds of receivers to throw to and just missed them.
And that's his career, right? That's his career.
But I'm going to just say that was an outlier this year. He's been pretty good. Right?
Yep.
He's been very accurate. He runs around all the time. I don't think he was he probably percentage-wise had more pressure the other night than normal, but I've seen him running around for his life all year, and he makes plays. He was terrible in that game.
Yeah.
I don't think you can bank on that again.
William's in Montreal. What's up, William?
Hi, I have a question.
Yeah.
Against the Browns, how do you guys think Will Campbell and Jared Wilson will match up against Myles Garrett? Are we going to have to chip him on every play or slide?
I think you're going to need more than chips. I think you're going to need to double team him.
You might need to double team him with tight end. You might need to bring in an eligible lineman.
I don't think they'll do that.
No?
Not in passing downs.
Well, I don't know.
They'll have Hunter Henry as an extra blocker or Austin Hooper, one of those guys.
But you're going to have a plan.
Yeah,
and
you can't just say,
and that plan is going to take
Will,
away
you're on
from
an
other
island
things
with Myles Garrett. That's not a plan.
No.
I mean, the more The bigger problem might be Malik Collins inside against Jared
And Mason
Wilson.
Graham.
And Mason Graham too is a rotational piece, but Malik Collins is right behind.
Freddie loved Mason Graham.
I
Remember
did.
he wanted to
I
draft
know
him?
he's
I
on
liked
one,
him.
but
Yeah,
Malik
thanks,
Collins
William.
is having a great season too. He's got a lot of pressure. He's got a lot of sacks. He's right. So you can't double both those guys. So that's a matchup. Watching Jared Wilson in that left guard position against Malik Collins, that could be almost more interesting because it's harder to help your guard against somebody like that, especially when you're trying to help the left tackle against
I think that Drake also will be a big part of the protection. I used to give Brady a lot of credit for it in a different way because he did it with his mind. I think Drake does it with his athleticism.
Dan's in New Jersey. Hey, Dan.
Hey, Fred. You were talking earlier about special teams, and I agree with Fred. They did. I kind of think they did fix the kickoff. Now they need to do something about the onside kick, and I guess they are talking about it again. Going back to the idea of 4th and 15. Have you heard that?
Yeah, I hate that.
I hate that too.
Oh, really?
Absolutely
I hate
despise it.
manufacturing that. It's like putting the runner on second base and extra
Oh, I
innings.
love that.
I don't. It's like
But a 4th and 15 is way too
taking
easy.
It is way too
shortcuts.
easy. Where would you go if you really had to do it? Like 4th and 20? Like, is that?
I
Like
just
15
don't,
just sounds
I just
like
don't think
an
it makes
everyday
sense
kind
to
of
just
down
say
and
like,
distance.
we're going to have one play and that's going to allow the team to get an extra possession. I don't.
Not to mention, like when you're an onside kick, it's on your special teams to make the play. Now you're asking your best player, your quarterback, and your offensive weapons to make.
What
the
I
play.
don't like what they've done with the onside kick is they've taken it out unless you're losing in the fourth quarter. Like you can't surprise.
Yeah.
I don't. That's why. That's why I don't like the whole kickoff thing.
Yep. All right. Thanks, Dan.
But
Appreciate
I
the
don't know
call.
what the answer is. But that's why I don't like the kickoff. I like the kickoff the way it was. If you wanted more kicks returned, then move the kickoff line back.
Yeah.
So it's harder to have touchbacks.
Yeah.
Paul in the Colony writes in, Evan is way off, he says. He's showing his true colors. He is more about the draft than the team. I would always prefer to know I have a QB capable of raising the talent around him over wondering if he is the guy and getting better draft picks.
I mean, I would agree with Evan if you're talking about the difference between top 5 and 14, or those like
Right.
I can agree with him in there, but the difference between the value of making the playoffs and making for the organization, for what did it mean to Washington last year? A
What did it mean
franchise
to
that has been
Detroit
buried.
to win that last game of the year against Green Bay?
Yeah.
It was meaningless for them, but it knocked Green Bay up. That was huge for the Lions.
But you
for their
can't,
culture.
you can't really measure that, though. Like, that's what I mean. Like, it's hard to say.
Give me a
that's why I
win.
brought up the financial component because, teams do get paid money. So, I mean, like,
If
that.
you want to tell me, like, the Patriots should have lost that last game against Buffalo to get the number 1 overall pick. Absolutely.
Yeah,
sure.
right.
Okay.
1
It
and
wasn't
4.
as big a deal to me as it was to other people.
Yeah.
But I understand that. Like, so you're talking 4th to 1st. Like, you didn't get anything from a culture building standpoint by winning.
Sure not. Almost worse. Almost they get more vitriol at you.
So there was nothing to be gained by winning the game. Okay. But that's a rare occurrence.
Yeah.
I feel like the part that I think Evan and a lot of people, Evan's not alone, by the way. A lot of people just always look at those draft picks like there's hope on the horizon. Like, I don't really understand why winning 2 less games makes it more likely that you can get Sam Laporta in the 2nd round.
Yeah.
I don't like I think he's glossing over how good of a job it's Brad Holmes, right? The GM for Detroit. Let's just say for Detroit's GM, how good of a job they did in nailing so many of those picks.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, Penei Sewell was a top 5 pick. They weren't all top 5 picks.
No. And Laporta was in the mix of good tight ends, but not like one of the standout. It wasn't like the kid from Penn State that went Tyler Warren that went to the Colts last year,
But even he was in the middle of the round.
Right. And so, especially like, I'm looking at it in the
Colston
simplest
Loveland went
terms
before
of
him.
like, Patriots make the playoffs and they lose in the 1st round. I would much rather take that and pick 22nd
I just look at the
than not
locker
make
room.
the playoffs and pick 16th. Like, that to me is a negligible difference that if
I look
your
at that
GM is
locker room
good, you're
video
going to make it.
and the faces and the looks on those guys' faces and the excitement and the enthusiasm and the culture that you can see. You can visibly see the culture building as we watch these every week. I mean, the emailers that make fun of me and the callers that make fun of me for being a curmudgeon are not wrong. I've been around a long time. Not a lot of this stuff really sort of moves the needle for me. watching that video the other day was like, I can see it. You can see the excitement. It's a difference between the last 2 years with the 4 wins. Mike, you keep saying like each loss like just kind of like
drags you down.
perpetuated itself.
It does.
You can see it. Even guys that have been around like Fred and I forever can see the difference.
Yep.
There's value to that.
I'm not sure what's going on with Vrabel.
Vrabel's at 105, I think. So
Oh,
he should be going.
105. Oh,
Yeah, they
sorry.
pushed it.
They
Sorry,
pushed
we
it.
just
They
got a
pushed it back?
notification.
Yeah,
that
okay.
said-
We have a delay.
We just got a push
Yeah,
notification.
A little
I'm
delay.
gonna have some more Pepsi.
Little delay.
Okay.
Beat yourself.
Dan's in Daytona. What's up, Dan?
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So I wanted to give one harp on Paul. Paul and Mike, actually, Paul and mainly Evan were talking about how they were saying the problems this year during training camp was going to be we were going to do good on defense and probably struggle on offense, but it's been the complete opposite. The offense is looking amazing.
Absolutely.
And the defense is just you never really know how they're going to start or going to finish, but they've been finishing good. So I want to give some what Paul thinks on his thoughts on that, on the defense and how the players are playing so far.
No, I
Thanks,
think
Dan.
you nailed it. I absolutely thought it would be the opposite. And that's probably the thing that has me most enthusiastic about what's going on is they're not winning a lot of defensive struggles and beating bad teams just because they couldn't score. No, their offense is moving the ball against all these teams really well. Some games that they're scoring more than others, but they're moving the ball pretty well in every game. I thought it would be the opposite. I thought the offense would struggle. And the reason that I was sort of lukewarm on the whole season heading in was because of that. And this is not an excuse because it's not like I said it was going to happen, but I did keep saying the one caveat is if the quarterback makes an enormous step forward, and he did. Yep. He has, and he is. And that's why your offense is as good as it is. That's the secret sauce. Once you get that quarterback, then everything else falls into place.
Cameron writes in, how soon everyone forgets that we beat the Bills on Sunday Night Football 3 weeks ago. I've had enough with everyone saying we haven't beaten any good teams.
Who the hell has forgotten that?
Well, he's saying anyone that says we haven't beaten any good teams.
No one has said that. Everybody says they've had the easiest schedule in the league. That's a fact.
But you have beaten a good team.
One.
Okay.
Panthers aren't too bad.
Yeah, they are. They're terrible, as a matter of fact.
Justin writes in, Evan's going to go home tonight, walk in with his arms crossed and comically plop on his couch in frustration. Jess is going to ask him, bad day at work? And Evan's going to mutter, Paul doesn't know ball and makes me mad.
He doesn't respect the draft.
I don't think that's...
And I don't. That's fact. Evan can make fun of me for that and be accurate. I do not respect the draft.
Gerald in Burlington writes in, for 5 years, we've been comparing about how poor the team is and suffering through back-to-back 4-1 seasons. Why would you not want to win now? I would love the team to go to an AFC championship or even Super Bowl and come up short and stink again. And the logic of slow building is flawed. You can just as easily mess that up as you could drafting at pick 30. To Paul's point, look at Pittsburgh. They seem to be slow building for over a decade and stuck in neutral. I 100 expect a regression next year in wins and losses because of schedule difficulty. The team may be better, more talented, but the record worse in both is possible.
That's another part of the 2 steps forward, 1 step back theory that I am strongly a proponent of. That happens too. You could be a better team next year and not win as many games. Yeah. That could happen.
You're just hoping it all kind of comes out in the wash of that. I mean, I don't think Drake May can continue to play at this level for the rest of his career. I mean, this is pretty ridiculous. But I'd say defensively and even a couple places on offense, you feel like, we said it before, they haven't really had a chance to really remake this team the way they want. And I mean, I don't know why I said it, like after week 1 or 2, you get a sense there's some placeholders. And so the hope is that, and again, like most of these guys are coming back for better or worse, whether you want them or not, whether you're going to try to replace them. There isn't like, all right, we got a lot of major holes that we have to address, but they should have a chance of starting a better starting position. And now can you start to round things out and get some more of the players? You don't have to overextend and go crazy, but that's my hope, is that you start to really build the team that you want even more so, and that'll offset some of the potential regression to the mean from Drake May in the offense.
Audrey writes in, simple statement, winning is good. Winning breeds more success. Winning brings it more buy-in and better free agents. Teams should always, always win as much as possible. The only exception would be the bottom 5 teams where draft position means much more, like a possible quarterback. Philly, for example, has had no problem gaining more talent and often moving up in the draft if necessary.
That's another example. Philly, they've had low draft picks and they're continuing to draft well every year.
And that's a good example too of like a Kansas City where yes, you're picking towards the bottom of the draft, but you also have a good team. You don't have a lot of critical, glaring needs that you probably have to fill maybe once or twice, but you can sit there and let the draft come to you, and you're not forced to have to take. I mean, I get it. If you're a rebuilding team, you need top 5, top 10 talent every year. And the Patriots are a great example. They've turned it around primarily on the backs of those guys that they drafted in the top half of the draft over the last few years. But, you know, there is a certain advantage, too, when you're at the bottom of the draft and you say, oh, then, you know, Josh Simmons fell through. I know Josh Simmons probably made a bad example right now with Josh Simmons going out there. But
in all seriousness, that's a – I don't know what he's dealing with. That personal thing.
No,
people seem to be really, really concerned about that.
It sounds serious. But at the time – and maybe it will eventually going forward. Like wow, they needed a left tackle. They stayed patient. They got one. He's looked pretty good when he's been on the field. Now I know there's other issues, you know. So I think there is. It's not like you're handcuffed to terrible talent. And to you guys, you know, like there are good players all over the draft. If you draft well,
and I'm
you're a
not
good drafting
saying
team,
it's easy.
awesome.
I think Evan was sort of saying, well, you just think it's easy to do that. No, it's not. But when you're good, it's easier to stay. I think it's easier to be good than it is to just completely build it from the studs up. I think that's hard.
Yeah.
I think when you have good players and you do what you just said and you're augmenting.
Yeah.
You know, your level of talent is at a higher level. It should be easier, not harder.
Well, it's like maybe we don't need the best tight end in the draft class, but guess what? The best tight end in the draft class just fell to you at 28, and. All right, all of a sudden now, you know, and that's a little bit like I felt with, you know, like a pick like Jahmyr Gibbs, like for the Lions. Like, you know, did they have to take a running back in the top 12 or whatever it was? Like, probably not. But now you have an opportunity where your line's in good shape. You like what you're doing on defense. You know, you have some talent. And,
but the bottom line is they're good players. Mm-hmm. And when you if you hit the picks, you know, no one will be sitting there like if Jalen Polk turned out to be as good as Emeka Egbuka, no one would be saying, if they didn't win those games, they would have had a higher draft pick. No, you picked the wrong guy. If it was Ladd McConkey, let's use it for apples to apples.
Yep, sure.
That was the guy that was available.
My guy.
Right?
Yep.
I mean, you just it's not easy. I'm not suggesting that you just wave a magic wand. Bill did it really well for a long time, and then he couldn't do it at all.
Yeah.
So it's not easy, even for the best who's ever done it.
Well, that was the other part of that argument that, you know, it's like, yeah, Bill did it until he didn't do it.
Right.
And then it started falling apart, and now it's the dam's got number of cracks, and you don't have a left tackle anymore.
Here's Vrabel.
All right, Vrabes.
How are you? Touche. How we doing?
Is Cleveland's defense the best you will have faced thus far this season?
Yeah. I mean, I think just statistically and play style, you know, they're playing at a high level. They're playing with a lot of confidence. It's a lot of speed, a lot of disruption. You know, they don't give you a whole lot of time to make decisions. And then there's enough, you know, change-ups in there that, you know, you just have to be good. You have to be sound. You can't hold on to the ball. You know, coverage is sticky and linebackers are fast.
Mike, flip side, your run defense, it doesn't matter whether traditional stats or metrics, is one of the best in the league. Aside from the obvious talent, what has allowed that group to be so good through 7 weeks?
Well, I think that we've improved our tackling. We've continue to improve our technique. You know, and again, it hasn't been perfect, but it's just about coaching edge, wall, and swarming, and making sure that you know, we do those things. And you know, we've done them sometimes, and we'll have to continue to do them. That's the thing about this league is you don't. Stats and metrics, numbers don't mean anything. You have to go out there and be able to prove it. And I know that they'll have a good plan for how they want to run it. And it's a physical group of linemen. Their tight ends are blocking well. You know, and Quinshawn is running hard, physical. So they've done a nice job.
Mike, how was your locker room, in your experience, how was the locker room handle the level of success that you've had so far over the course of the first 7 games?
I mean, I think we always just try to stay consistent. We've tried to keep that message going. Try to have you know, a new plan, new preparation, new opponent each and every week. You know, try to celebrate the success that we've had, but then clearly move on and focus on the next challenge. And we'll have to do that this week. And, you know, it's a big one, you know, coming back home and just making sure that, you know, we don't take anything for granted in our preparation. This is a different unit, a different team than Tennessee. And so that we have to just get going, learn them, learn a play style, try to match their speed the best that we can in practice and be ready to go for it on Sunday.
What did you like about Caleb Murphy from the first time you were working with him?
I just, you know, he was a very productive college player, and, you know, he's improved his fourth down ability and has experience there.
Caleb Jason was named the AFC Defender of the Week. Just what have you seen from him this season, and what does it mean for him to earn that honor?
Well, I mean, he showed up in the offseason ready to learn and work and earn a role, and he's done that. And I would say that he's an important member of the punt team, something that he's taken very seriously since he got here, and trying to do those things and help us on the punt team, and then taking advantage of his opportunities.
Mike, speaking of special teams, as a teammate and a colleague, Bubba Ventrone, what are the qualities he demonstrated as a player and also as a coach that may make him a future head coach?
Great competitive spirit as a player. I mean, he was a Tasmanian devil. Enjoyed a time with Bubba immensely, and then being able to be with him in Cleveland last year. It was fun to just see his relationship and connections with the players, the way that he coaches, his energy, his evaluation of players. So he's done a great job in his role, and I'm sure that if presented with those opportunities, he would do an amazing job with any head coaching opportunities that would come his way.
Mike, you mentioned this offseason wanting to play cat and man coverage. It feels like the past couple weeks you guys have kind of gotten away from that. Has it been more of a product of the game plan or your execution when actually playing man?
Probably a little bit of both. You know what I mean? So when we play man, we got to not let our man catch the ball, and we got to be able to get to the quarterback and force them to, you know, to get rid of it maybe before those routes can separate or run away.
Following up on CP's question, a lot of times coaches will say that how teams respond to success and adversity, and coaches are looking to see like how that translates. Have you noticed anything specifically? Were you interested to see how this team would deal with success when you guys started stacking wins?
Well, first off, I don't know who CP is. I apologize.
Chris Price.
I know Chris. I just didn't know CP. Yeah, we just. I don't really. We've tried to keep it the same. I mean, we've tried to coach the same. We've tried to show them the things that they've done well and that we have to continue to do and enhance. Show them the things that we have to improve on, and then eliminate the stuff that's going to get us beat coming out of that game. And show them the corrections and the emphasis that we put on the run game and the things that when we did it well, when we didn't do it well. You know, coach ball security, coach our identity, practice our identity every single day. I don't know how else to do it.
What goes into?
No, I just was, you know, I mean, it's you kind of just got to stay consistent and focus on these things, and you know, practice it every day.
Sorry, so you've been around Jim Schwartz the last year, obviously, and in Tennessee too. Talk about identity. How would you describe, I guess, his preferred identity as a defensive player?
Well, they're fast. You know, I mean, they're disruptive. You know, they put pressure on the quarterback, and they do it through their players and their identity. You know, I mean, they understand what they want to do and how they want to play, and they want to force you into mistakes. If you give up loose plays or guys get on the edge of somebody or somebody, you know, you got an elite edge rusher on the outside, and if you know you can't step up, it's going to be hard to protect. You know, and then the corners are going to be sticky, and you know the linebackers all can run. Safeties are very good tacklers, and that's the thing that I've noticed is that, you know, if a ball breaks, it's 8 yards is a really long run for this against this team because the safeties are such good tacklers. You know, Grant and Ronnie.
Mike, what goes into winning a home game versus a road game? And over years in football, can it be
Can it be somewhat of a distraction being back home?
No, I don't think the numbers would tell you that. I don't know. I mean, I think you play well and you take care of the football, create some explosive plays, get off the field on third down, score touchdowns in the red zone. I would say that no matter where you are, what time zone you're in, that those things would always translate. And, maybe the defensive communication would have to be improved, or maybe eye contact or hand signals, as opposed to being able to hear. If you're playing well enough and your fans are into it and it's loud, communicating different things that are happening that don't happen on the road. You could practically yell out to the defense on the road as quiet as it is.
What's allowed Drake May to be so accurate this season?
I think receivers are helping him. I think that the ability to step up in a pocket, but I probably special talent as well. Maybe staying calm and the things that they've worked on and he's practiced as far as when he's on the move. To be able to still stay in phase and not open up his body or let things get loose, which would lead to an erratic or an errant throw.
Mike, we haven't asked you about Terrell in a while. Just what, if anything, in the way of an update, can you offer on him?
I would say that his spirits are good. He's feeling good. He's been meeting with coaches, been in meetings. So I appreciate you asking. I do. And there'll be a treatment plan here coming up that he'll have to follow. But right now, it's good to see him. It's good to see him in, and his spirits are good.
Mike, you've played against some of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, Favre, Marino, Elway, played with the greatest quarterback of all time. Where does Drake May fit into that conversation right now?
I mean, I never played those guys when they were that young, but I did play against those guys. I mean, I played against Dan Marino when his cleat was like 12 inches high because of his Achilles, and was on the dirt infield. Too early in his career to understand. I think Drake's so excited just to be leading this football team, and it's fun to watch him want to prepare and get better and improve every day. You got another question, Tom? I know you were kidding.
But have you ever seen a quarterback get this hot for such an extended period?
I try not to focus on that. I think we focus on what's going on this week and what corrections need to be made. And the good thing is there's a lot of things that we can improve. There's so much that we can improve in all three phases, right? And still be able to win a football game. But we have to improve on them and correct them, or we're going to, the unfortunate part is you're going to have to learn from losing, and I don't want to do that.
Like, what are the ongoing conversations with Drake about the slide, avoiding contact when he can?
Has there?
No, what are the conversations like? Is it an ongoing process with him, or?
No, we talked to him about making great decisions, like the rest of the team, and that would be a good decision for him to make. But again, like all the other conversations we have with players, those will remain with us. But that's part of making great decisions. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Mike.
Whether you're in the game or betting on the game, you'll need a game plan. DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of the New England Patriots, provides you with everything you need to build your personal betting game plan so you can get in on all the action while practicing safe bets. Visit DraftKings.com/responsible-gaming to learn more about all the safe betting tools DraftKings has to offer. Hope is here, 800-327-5050 or gamblinghelplinema.org. Must be 21 plus. Play it smart from the start. GameSenseMA.com. Physically present in Massachusetts. See DraftKings.com/responsible-gaming for details and state-specific responsible gambling resources.
Isn't it time to get exactly what you want? Welcome to Red Hot Deal Days from Verizon, where you get your pick of our best deals. Like My Plan, where you can pick the perks you want and save on every one. For limited time, bring your own phones to a Verizon store and you can get My Plan for our best price ever. Get exactly what you want in your phone plan and only pay for what you need. Bring your phones to your Verizon store today and get My Plan. These deals won't last. It's your Verizon.
With FedEx One Rate, you can ship to your student for a simple, predictable flat rate. Send a box full of home-baked treats that say, "Your father and I miss you." Or send a box full of instant noodles that says, "Your father and I would like you to stop asking us for money." Either way, one rate fits all. FedEx One Rate. 2-day shipping, one flat rate. Starting at $14.50. Visit FedEx.com/OneRate for details. Exclusions apply.
If you're gonna play the game, boy, you gotta learn to play it right.
DraftKings is all about responsible gaming. It's more fun when it's for fun. So play responsibly. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction.
And now, great moments in history.
People who have that talent are generally
Do you play by
really
ear?
good at
I know you
music.
paint by
Impressions.
numbers.
I read music.
What?
I read the sheet music.
Oh, so you do read music.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that helps you? Your musical knowledge helps you with your impressions? Because you clearly have a gift for that. Is it something how you can pick up on how everyone speaks?
Inside the actor's studio
What are you
here.
what are you laughing at over there?
Well, I thought of Eric when I
You
was
missed
listening to
something
this.
there, Fred said.
I did.
I said, do you read music?
Yeah.
I said, because I know you paint by numbers.
I caught that. I ignored him.
It's even
funnier the second time.
Fred, do you read music?
No.
Because you're good at impressions too, so you have that gift.
I can play the harmonica by ear.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. And by my mouth.
Oh, but I'm.
That's another great moment from
All right, back here in Patriots Unfiltered. Mike has gone to the locker room to go rescue Evan. We hope that...
Do a wellness check.
Yeah. I hope the players...
Actually, we're hoping to get Diggs.
Yeah.
Diggs usually talks on Wednesdays. We'll see if Mike can get in on that one.
So he'll return from the locker room, and we'll talk to him.
Do you have any thoughts on Vrabel today? Kind of run of the mill. I tell you,
very run of the mill.
It might be. I said this in the post-game show Sunday after the game, and I mean this with the most respect. Like, it was kind of like a ho-hum, boring game. Like, and how refreshing is it that we've progressed to the point where you go from 4-2 to 5-2, and it's just like business as usual. This is what was supposed to happen,
right?
And I think Vrabel's press conference today was a little of that. It was like, we brought in a guy, Caleb Murphy. We probably should have mentioned that at some point.
Yeah.
They claimed him off waivers. I think we talked about him a little yesterday. Just a guy with a lot of production in college, edge rusher, but beyond that, just, Cleveland does a lot of things well defensively.
Right. Yeah, there weren't a lot of Cleveland questions. Few, but,
No, you're right.
And so, I mean, the media is kind of treating it like ho-hum a little bit. So I guess that's good. Like, I've always been one to say, I don't need to be entertained when it comes to Patriots games. I want to blow out every team. I don't want to be white knuckle. I'll leave that for all the other games. But obviously, when you have those white knuckle, it's entertaining. I'm not going to say it isn't. But I'm perfectly happy winning 31-13.
Yeah, I would just... I'm perfectly happy when my team plays well. And that's why I win 31-13. Do you know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah. We had that Isaac from yesterday, who criticized the show.
Oh, I remember that.
Wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
Criticized me. I noticed nobody defended me when he was saying I had no knowledge of the team, but that's beside the point.
Well, I think it was no knowledge, period. Was it not?
Well, yeah.
But they criticized everybody except for me. I felt left out.
But Cynthia says, I'm fairly certain Isaac from Westfield's call was a cry for help. Don't change a thing. Okay, maybe the FedEx commercial. And let Isaac know that therapy could help and friends. He needs friends. So, and then I was recommending neck bridges yesterday.
Yes,
I
recall that as well.
Yeah. Arun writes in, Fred's chiding inspired me to brush off the old singlet and get some extra neck work in at the gym today. Keep fighting the good fight, Fred, all of them. That's Aaron in Tokyo.
You do have a lot of fights going on.
I do. It's okay. Keeps me moving.
I have the reputation, but you have a lot more in terms of grudges than I do.
Yeah, but yours are apt to get you in trouble. Mine aren't.
Why am I going to get
Because, you get into You're not.
I am not confrontational.
Yes, you are.
No, I am
yes,
not.
you are. Yes, you are.
I'm indifferent. There's a difference.
Franklin in Baltimore has the all-important question. Am I, me, emotionally prepared to lose this game?
Oh, that is a great question.
Remember those?
Yeah. I'm not, by the way.
And I have to say that I am. Yes, I am, Paul.
We're halfway through the week of shows. I mean, more than halfway at this point. And you're just throwing this on me now?
I'm emotionally prepared to lose.
I don't believe
I
that
don't
for a
want to
second. You'll
lose.
snap right out of
I
that
don't
by the
think we'll
time
lose,
2
but
o'clock comes around tomorrow.
If we lose, I'm not going to be like, I can't believe we lost that game. How did it happen? I'm not going to be that.
I don't know if I would say I can't believe it. I don't know how that happened, but I'd be close.
Yeah.
I'd be close.
Okay.
The only thing I would say, like Evan has been really dismissive of Cleveland, and I wouldn't go as far as he has. I don't think that the Patriots would need to do what they did against Pittsburgh and turn it over 5 times. Like, I think 1 or 2, if they had 1 or 2, you could lose. Because they could slow you down a little bit. They could help Cleveland score some points. You don't have to help them score all the points.
Yeah.
And they could pull an upset. There's just no offense there. This is a really bad offense.
Jack in
I'm not emotionally prepared to lose. Fred, you're alone on that one.
Okay. Jack in Inaba has a stud or stiff Browns edition. Stud or stiff, Jerry Jeudy.
Stiff.
Dylan Gabriel.
Stiff. I mean, I think it's too early to say, but I think he's
stud or stiff, Quinshon Judkins.
Stud.
Miles Garrett, I think we know.
Stud.
Mason Graham.
I don't know him. I haven't seen him play much. But
Jerry's out. Jerry's still out.
I haven't seen Cleveland play, so I don't know exactly what he's doing.
Jerry's still out. Anthony writes in, Paul may be snarky, but he's very good at the debating aspect. He will not allow any of the fans who call or email to stray away from a specific arguing point. I think that isn't, he learned that from me. I think that isn't always easy.
Fred is very good at that.
Perfect example of this was the Christian in LA call. Kudos to Paul. And Jason says, he's in Savannah, he says, the LA guy is a doofus, so self-centered. He thinks he's self-centered. Yeah, I could see that.
Like I said, you can have an argument and disagree or agree or whatever. I did not change my argument in the middle.
Right.
And that's what he's claiming. Like, oh, you just want to make fun of me when I call, and then a half hour later you're agreeing with me. I don't agree with wanting to lose. I don't agree with being worried that they're not quite as good. Are they not quite as good as their record? Maybe. But I'm not worried about it.
Right.
Win. Win the games. Take advantage of the schedule. Why not?
To that point, Corey writes in, if we get to a point where our biggest worry becomes drafting lower on the board and sustaining future success, I will take that every time. The fact that we have to focus on sustaining success means we are experiencing success. After the last couple 4-win seasons, it seems weird to worry about a few lower round draft picks that may or may not be good players.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I'm going on. You know what? You want something to worry about? If we just like looking at to manufacture things to be concerned about. I heard on my show yesterday, at Felger and Big Jim Murray, they were talking a little bit about the draft class, like this current draft class.
Not a good one.
Well, the jury's still out. I mean, we don't know enough yet, but like the early returns are just okay. They're not great.
Oh, our class.
Yeah.
I thought you meant the future draft class for next year.
No, I mean, like Will Campbell's been okay.
Yeah. No, it's
Travion Henderson has been, minimally.
Kyle Williams, not too good.
Kyle Williams, not great. Craig Woodson has been a starter, and he plays all the time, but he's just okay.
Was Borregales worth the pick?
I don't, my answer to that. No.
I think so.
He's a good kicker.
Yeah.
So will the rest of them. You don't have to draft them. All the kickers are the same. I tell you that all the time. There's 3 or 4 that stand out among the rest, like Brandon Arbery, who's now made 5 60-plus yard field goals, which is amazing.
Yep.
That guy, if you had drafted him, sure, that's worth it. That's a weapon. The rest of them are all kind of the same. But you want something to worry about? Like, is this class going to live up to the
right?
Because we already look at the 24 class, the Drake May class, and it's really just Drake May.
Yep.
That ain't good. When you have the 3rd overall pick, no.
Oh.
When you have the 3rd overall pick,
he was the year before.
You're picking 3rd in the round every round, or you're picking in the top 5 in the round. I know sometimes it rotates depending on ties. You need to get more than one good player.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. Chris in Maine, I agree with Paul about winning as much as possible, not worrying about higher picks to build or sustain the better example for his argument, in my opinion, is the Rams. They went like 5 years without a first-round pick, yet have consistently found good players to stay good.
In the draft, too. Yes, that's a great point. There's more I'm glad these emailers are helping me because I'm not even thinking of all the different teams.
Yeah.
I just threw out Baltimore and Pittsburgh, but Philadelphia that we had Audrey, I think, emailed, and that one is another good one. The Rams, those defensive players weren't top 5 picks that they got. That defense with Verse and Fisk and those guys, they've been good players for them.
Stephen in Virginia writes in, to Evan's point about the potential missed opportunities that come with drafting later in the draft, with the Lions as his example. In the 2023 draft, Detroit had the 12th and 18th pick in the first round. They took Gibbs 12, Campbell 18. There were 0 running backs taken the rest of the first round. The next taken went 52 overall. And the next linebacker taken was Nolan Smith at 30. Really an edge, not a true linebacker. It's impossible to know how the draft would have played out if they had different picks that first round. But it also isn't impossible that they could have gotten one or even both of them if they were picking, say, 16 and 23, instead resulting from 1 or 2 more wins that season. The Commanders only had 5 picks in last year's draft, with only 3 in the top 150. They added Tunsil and Debo via trade, but that to me is a clear high-risk team building strategy that the Patriots should look at and probably avoid this offseason. Winning is most important. Establishing a good culture that expects to win and compete is most important, because then players around the league want to come here. The players here get experience actually winning close games. And when you add free agents or draft picks, it becomes easier to get buy-in when the rest of the team has an established standard that is sustainable. There you go. Why don't you forward that to Evan?
Yeah, I mean, the first part, and I know he wasn't saying this, you don't know how Jahmyr Gibbs, how long he would have been available. He was highly regarded player in that draft. Jack Campbell they could have gotten. They could have waited and gotten Jack Campbell. I'm not suggesting that it's not good to draft high. I'm just saying that's not the only way to get good players. You have to hit the picks. Wherever you take them, you have to hit some picks.
Right. Invest in good scouting department.
It's like, you just brought up Booty a little while ago. They got Booty and Douglas in the 6th round 3 years ago. And, they took Kyle Williams in the 3rd round. They took Jalen Polk in the 2nd round. The guys they took in the 6th round 3 years ago are playing better.
That's right.
You never know when you're going to find players.
855-PATS-500 is the hotline. Again, Deuce will be back with news from the locker room. We'll have an eye on Evan. We'll see what happened in there. Raheem in Georgia is on the line. What's up, Raheem? Raheem, Georgia. 404. No, not there.
Wow,
Okay.
Look at you throwing out the area code.
Oh, I got that from this morning. Did you hear on the one of your shows? They had this guy that works. I don't know if he's an intern or back, but he used to work for the 411. You know how they used to call and a person. So this kid, they quizzed him, and he knew all the area codes all over the country.
Really?
Yeah, they'd go like San Antonio. It'd be like 812, Or
That's
then they'd go
amazing.
812, and he'd go San Antonio.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so he knew all the area codes. It was fun. Eldred's in North Carolina. What's up, Eldred? Oh, God.
Hey, fellas, how y'all doing?
Yeah.
Hey, Paul.
Yes, sir.
Paul, you like me, very confrontational. Hey, I love it. I love that little argument.
I'm not as confrontational as Fred is.
Me confrontational?
Yeah, but Fred, you good too, man. You sneaky at it though.
Yes.
You good at it. Love it. That's why I love.
I'm an instigator. Paul's a finisher.
Yeah.
Yes,
I need
you
my
are an
t-shirt.
instigator.
You hear me? I need my T-shirt.
Oh, you need your T-shirt? Okay, Alex.
Yeah. You know why?
We're on it. You just got to send us your
I
address
called
there,
the
bud.
score last week. I said 31-13.
There you go. Send him a
Oh,
T-shirt.
there you go. What's your size, Eldred?
Send the man his T-shirt. What do you need for a size, Big E?
2X.
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 Been
Big
sitting
boy.
down in that truck too long.
Big boy.
Got to start doing those planks. Yep. All right.
Planks and what everything else.
All right. Email in your address.
Yeah, Ace will take care of you.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks, Eldred.
Other question.
Wait. What's the score this week?
Score this week?
Yeah.
Man, I'm scared of that defense. So I'm going to say 23.
20 to
20 to 3? Okay.
Okay.
I don't think the offense is going to score.
All right. That sounds good to me. I'll take it. Thanks, Eldred. I'll take that. Ted's in San Diego. What's up, Ted?
Hey, Fred. Hey, Paul. Just three quick comments. First of which was the fumble by Cam Ward when he flipped the ball back into the end zone was reminiscent of back in the early 70s. I'm not sure if, Paul, you remember this, but there was a running back named John Tarver, and he almost did the exact same thing where he was running with the ball and just flipped it over his head into the end zone and was recovered by, who knows, remember, it was very reminiscent, similar play.
Reminds me of Gary Yepremian.
Well, I don't have to go back that far. I could go back to the play that Cam Ward made in the previous game. He did the exact same thing against the Raiders.
Yeah, right. So second quick observation as well. A couple days ago, I guess it was yesterday, when you guys or Evan was going over some of the potential inductees that Bill was up against, and one of the names he mentioned. This is a quick comment. Bill Arnsparger, which I know you guys remember, but I think that Bill must be the architect of the 53 defense. At least I think he was. And if that's true, that's like one of the legendary teams and defenses. And I believe that 53 defense was the initiation for the first time of a fourth linebacker. Because I think most teams played a 4-3. And I think when they brought in that 53, I think his name was Matheson or something like that, he became the fourth linebacker. So, and I believe that Arnsparger was the architect of that. And then my last comment, and I'll let you guys go, and thanks for the moment, is, whenever and Paul, I think you mentioned that the 04 team or the 06 team as being the greatest team, and maybe it's because of my youth, but I still think about that 76 team. Even though they did not win, they beat the Steelers, who were a legendary team back then, and they beat the Raiders during the season.
Yep.
And I still think that 76 team was the greatest Pats team of all time, with a number of Hall of Famers and legendary Patriot players.
It's in the conversation for sure. That's probably my first memories of watching Patriots games was that team.
Thanks, Ted.
And Bill Arnsparger was a great defensive coach. I don't know anything about 53. I don't even know what that is, to be honest with you. I don't know anything about the history of that, but yeah, I did correct Evan when he didn't know the guy's name. That's a legitimate defensive coach.
Newbie. John in South Carolina, I do feel like Paul disagrees with Christian from LA, and I want to thank him for doing it.
I do tend to disagree with him. I'm not denying that.
Let's see. This is a long one, so I don't want to read that. Martin out of Kansas. I'm enjoying the second half of the shows on Wednesday with the two of you. Okay. Just the two of us.
Right, because the original is always the best.
I haven't had this feeling in a while. I'm more worried about the next two games after the Browns. They might not be an easy check off the schedule, but still penciled in a win. Also, if you're more worried about draft pick position than winning, that's a loser's mentality. This is why the Patriots have a scouting team, Elliott Wolf, as well as the scouting staff, to find the players that fit the culture.
Yeah,
right?
I mean,
let them worry.
It's not going to be easy, but that's what. Yeah, those guys. That's what they get paid for. Ryan Cowden, Elliott Wolf, whoever ends up being, part of this, the scouting department. They need to find players, regardless of where we're picking.
Brian in Swansea. With a midweek game. This game is called Cleveland Quarterback or Game of Thrones Cast Member.
Okay.
This game was inspired upon reflection on how lucky we are to have apparently found our guy at quarterback in a relatively short period of time after Tom Brady's departure. Cleveland Browns have had 33 different players start at quarterback over the last 20 seasons. I'm going to list a name, and the panel simply has to indicate
whether he started at quarterback for the Browns or was an actor in the Game of Thrones. So not a character, but an actor.
Okay.
Oh, jeez.
This is going to come down to whether or not I know he was a quarterback for the Browns.
Right.
Because I don't know.
You're not a Game of Thrones fan?
Of Thrones.
Connor Shaw.
Quarterback for the Browns.
Correct. Rory McCann.
I'm going to guess Game of Thrones.
That's correct. Kevin Hogan.
Stanford quarterback for the Browns.
That's correct. Thaddeus Lewis.
Another Browns quarterback.
Yes. Deshaun Kaiser.
Another Browns quarterback, Notre Dame.
That's right. Freddie Stroma.
I'm going to guess Game of Thrones.
Correct. And finally, Austin Davis.
That's another Browns quarterback out of Ball State.
100%, Paul. 100%. Yeah. Sorry. This is Brian. Boy, you tried, but you didn't do it. You couldn't stump the Schwab.
I liked that game, though.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, because some of those names were really obscure.
Yeah, but he had mostly Cleveland. I think he only had 2 Game of Thrones people. So I think.
Yeah, I mean, most of it's kind of, I guess you could go either way.
Yeah.
Because the actors' names are well known, but the guys who actually played quarterback for the Browns should be known too.
Yep.
Do I get any bonus points for knowing that some of those guys went to college?
I was listening to that. You do get bonus points for that. Yep. Let's see. Kudos to Gerard Mayo. This is Gary from Football City, USA, which is Rock Hill, South Carolina. Yes, you heard it right. I'm forever thankful for Gerard Mayo. If Gerard did not win the last regular season game last year, we would be sitting with Caleb Williams as our quarterback instead of Drake.
Oh,
Patriots fans were livid when we lost the number 1 pick.
Can we stop for a second?
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know how this started, but this is just patently wrong. When they won the last game of the year last year, Drake May was standing on the sidelines watching the game. Winning the game did not prevent them from drafting Caleb Williams.
It didn't.
He had been drafted the previous season 2 picks before Drake May was. It's not the same year. I don't know why everybody gets this wrong. My show gets it wrong quite often.
Right.
In the morning, one of my shows, not the show that I'm usually on.
Yep.
Seriously, you have the years are off. In all seriousness, do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because you're looking at me a little confused.
Right.
Last year, the Patriots already had Drake May.
Right.
He's not a rookie right now.
Right.
He was already on the team last year, winning the game against Buffalo. Gerard Mayo winning the Buffalo game did not do anything to Drake May. He was already on the Patriots.
He was already on the Patriots.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
This public service announcement is over.
So let's just say that the Patriots had the first round pick, the first overall pick in the year that they drafted Drake May. Who was the quarterback picked ahead of him?
And when Drake May was drafted, Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, Drake May, 1, 2, 3.
Okay. So why couldn't they have drafted Caleb Williams?
They had the 3rd pick.
I know, but if they had the first pick, could they have drafted?
If they had the first pick, they could have.
Right.
It had nothing to do with beating Buffalo last year.
It had nothing to do with beating Buffalo. I see what you're saying.
It's a different year.
I see what you're saying. Okay.
They had the 3rd pick the year they picked Drake May.
Right. They didn't.
It had nothing to do with winning the last game.
They didn't pick Drake May this year. Is what?
Thank Bill Belichick
for
going 4-13.
Right.
That allowed you to get Drake May.
There you go. There you go. Now, but I think the question, just to talk about it, if they had the choice of Caleb Williams or Drake May, who do you think this staff would have picked?
I have absolutely no idea. I really can't intelligently
or
answer
Jaden
that
Daniels
question.
for that matter.
If they had their choice of any of the quarterbacks, who would they have taken? I have no idea.
Well, let's thank God that they picked Drake May, and they only had one choice.
I would agree with that. They didn't really have. I think the choices were those top 3 guys, and the other 3 guys that went in the first round, I don't think were legitimate options. At 3. Now I think you could make an argument that they had a legitimate option to take a trade. I think the Giants wanted to move up. I think Minnesota wanted to move up. I think you could have said,
right.
Well,
gotten J.J. McCarthy.
We'll take a couple of, we'll take a couple of picks for you to move up, and we can take, the next quarterback.
Right.
Whether it be Penix or McCarthy or Nix.
Yep.
I don't think any of those 3 guys was a legitimate option at number 3 overall.
No.
Would you agree?
I agree, yeah.
Yeah. Now, if they had their choice of any of those 3, I probably think they would have taken Caleb Williams. But I don't really know. I don't.
Yeah.
That's one of those you never really know.
Why do you think people are getting that wrong? And they're forgetting.
Because they said it on the Sports Hub. John Wallach said it one day. I think I told you about this like 3 weeks ago. I was like, I can't believe that they're actually saying this, and no one's like stepping in to correct it. It's like it's.
Look who's back from the locker room. What was the mood? Were the players friendly? Too bad none of them look like Derrick Henry. Hey Mike, what was it like in the locker room? Hey Mike, what was it like?
Well, Mike.
Oh, nice. Hi, guys.
You come in with a big smile.
Sorry, it just cracks me up every time, and I feel slightly bad.
Oh, I thought it was something that happened in the locker room.
No, well, Paul looked like he was making a really important point, and then we cut him right off.
For some
and so
reason,
I felt a little
there
bad.
seems to be confusion. Because they won the game. Thank God they won the game last year, the last game, because that allowed them to get the 4th pick instead of the 1st pick, and they would have taken Caleb Williams instead of Drake May.
Caleb Williams? Oh,
instead
2
of
years
Drake
ago.
May.
Oh, yeah, okay.
They're off.
Yeah. Whoops, that happens from time to time. But yes, back from the locker room, heard from Stephon Diggs, as we always do. Always enjoy that. Thought young Evan Lazar asked a good question just about his leadership and where that came from, and that was interesting. Diggs said, that's why they brought me in to be a leader, and he pointed to Matt Collins as well as providing some leadership from that room. I know this is a point we've talked a lot about, that those guys have really, brought a good energy to that room, and you're seeing some production. And he pointed to the younger players, showing leadership, stepping up, being competitive. So good stuff from Diggs. Also talking about winning at home and just trying to stay sharp and keep it rolling. And heard from Will Campbell as well. Thought a good question from Phil Perry. It's 7 weeks in. Do you feel like you've proved some people wrong? There were some questions about your arm length and those kind of things, and what position you might play. And Will Campbell said, to be honest, I never really approached anything about proving anyone wrong. Like, none of that pre-draft talk helped me in any way. I've just been focused on coming in here and trying to help the team. So.
I thought he was going to say, well, it takes 3 years.
You're right. He's like, no, I felt that way after the second game. But he also told a story that before he told on one of the radio, on the podcast he went about the someone sending him the T-Rex and asking for an autograph. And they said, Dan Roche was like, well, what did you do when you got it? He's like, does that kind of take you back? He's like, no, I checked the return address, though. And then it was in his locker somewhere. But and then the last one was Caleb Chason, just talking about winning AFC Defensive Player of the Week. First touchdown of his career. He said some of his, he's gotten a lot of flack from some of his teammates about not having a sack dance. And he's like, they're like, are you going to come up with a new sack dance now? And he's like, nah, man, I'm 6 years in. So he was excited, sent the touchdown ball back to his mom, who was excited to receive it. And otherwise, just another good day of energy, getting ready to head out there to the practice fields. Felt huge media contingent again, just,
Huge.
Crowded in around Stephon Diggs. It's
anyone new and notable?
I don't know about notable so much as, but no, it's just it. You know what it is? It always seems like the TV producers are the ones growing. Like the beat guys are always there. Who writes about the team? They're here for everything. But you slowly start to see more cameras and more producer types, not necessarily asking questions, but guys there with their cameras holding the mics. And so yeah, it's just overall continuation of what we've seen over the last few weeks. Good energy. Everybody getting ready to head out to practice here.
Good. And how's Evan? We're a little worried about him.
Yeah. I talked to him. He was still really mad.
Really
mad. No, he was, but he was laughing. He's like, "You guys have fun while I left." I was like, "I'm like, you did." I mean, we kept going.
Because it ends.
Yeah. Right.
Do you know what I mean? It's like it's no fun when the guys.
I know. No, he was fired up.
Respond.
And yeah, so Evan was he was doing some lurking. I saw him talking to Kyle Williams a little bit on the side. So Evan does his own thing, but he wasn't on Diggs too, and got his question, and I thought it was a good question.
And that's your Eye on Evan, brought to you by Brunt Workwear. Brunt Workwear makes work boots and apparel that are built for the job site, and they're an official sponsor of the New England Patriots and Gillette Stadium Field Crew. Their gear is comfortable, durable, and named after the real workers in the trades that help design it. You can even try Brunt out on the job, and if it doesn't blow you away, they let you send it back. Save $10 on your first order at bruntworkwear.com/Pats or with coupon code PATS. Just want to let you know I was holding out. I was hoping Brunt would send me some new boots, and they haven't. So I broke down and I just ordered it.
Oh, yeah.
But I did use my PATS code, and I got $10 off.
There you go.
So there you go.
Congrats.
The boots you had weren't working out for
No,
you?
no,
You needed
well, I
some
like
else?
those, but those are like kind of nice.
Yeah, they are.
I don't want to wear those
know.
to work. So I bought some like traditional style
That are
work
ready to
boots.
get beat up a little
Yeah,
bit.
I threw out my old ones that we
Yeah.
got like how long ago was that? Like
You
10?
had
bought
those
shoes together?
You had the original. That's the ones that I told you. I had a tape together.
We talked about it the other day.
I didn't realize that you had the same
still
thing. I just
have 'em.
figured because I'm so cheap, I still have the.
No, I still
have
have
the
'em.
original.
Oh, they
What
smell.
was this back in the 2000s? They
Yeah, we
got
had
some
another
boots and-
sponsor. I don't want to. I don't want to.
I don't even. I mean, I would give them credit. I don't even remember.
I do, but
it was like the early 2000s.
Yeah.
That's how long we've had them.
Yeah.
Probably over 20 years.
Yeah, so I officially threw them out today.
I had to duct tape the sole because I was out doing the yard, in the snow, and all of a sudden I'm like, what? I'm like, I was off balance.
Testament to how much hard work you put in the yard,
Yeah.
and I hope your family
No,
appreciates
it's
it.
actually a testament to how little because I had them for over 20 years. The only time I ever wear them is when I shovel snow.
Oh, okay. My snow shovel is
I don't wear work boots very often.
either. I need some quality rain footwear. When it's a rainy day and we got to walk through this parking lot, it's like a deluge.
Is this footwear that you would change once you got in, or are you going to wear it all day?
That's a good question. I haven't really pondered
that's
that thought.
two
but
different
that's
styles.
Now that might be, but they're really like good.
Of course, I have two answers for each.
You do?
One answer.
I'm fascinated to hear it, but I'm on
That's the
board.
galoshes
I'm told I
aboard.
can't really.
I'm on board.
I can't really plug brands that aren't.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah.
I can't tell you on air.
Well, they're galoshes, but like they have like just the rubber boots that you
Yeah,
throw on. This thing.
we'll talk
All right,
out
We'll talk
there.
out. Yeah, you give me a hookup. You got a guy or
I'll,
something.
I'll let you know. In fact, one of our listeners works for this other company that I'm going to recommend and said that they can hook us up.
Oh, geez, nothing untoward there. That's called plug hole.
And I told him, I said that I really appreciate that, but I can't mention you.
Yeah.
So
Can't talk, very
yeah.
hush hush.
I mean, I can't get a car, but this guy can evidently do whatever he wants offline.
Boots, cars.
Well, you can do whatever you want offline too. If you want to call Toyota today, go ahead. Give
See
him a
how
call.
that works?
Hey, Toyota, this is Paul.
It's Perillo.
Paul Perillo. Patriots Unfiltered.
Can I get a free car?
Yeah.
Well, no, evidently it can't be someone that advertises with us. It has to be someone else.
Well, I didn't want to say someone else. I left it at Toyota.
Get a guy.
By the way, no.
It's interesting though. The Brunt's sponsoring Evan, the Evan segment. Of all the guys that doesn't mow his lawn, he's the one that gets the brunt.
Well, we're gonna get him into working.
The eye on Evan.
Yeah, he's married now.
Yep.
Things aren't good in the Lazar household after the Bruins' performance last night. Let's just say.
I saw that game.
Things are tense.
I'm surprised there was only one goal.
I was surprised they made the comeback because they looked like they were thoroughly outclassed the first two periods. Then all of a sudden, now Florida's really beat up.
Can I tell you
They've
that
lost like 4 in a row before that?
Florida scored like 2 minutes in on a power
one
play.
minute in?
I clicked it off. I'm not watching this. Wake me up in May.
The draft in
Yeah.
May. That's going on.
The draft. But the good thing is they'll have a good draft pick.
Yeah.
See how I just bring it full circle?
Perfect.
855-PASS-500 is the hotline. Let's go to North Carolina. Francisco's on the line.
Get
What's
the
up,
Penn State guy,
Francisco?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Hey.
Hey, so I'm going to defend Paul because
He doesn't need to be defended.
you can't make a playoff run if you're not in the playoffs. So I'd very much rather be picking towards the end. And as long as you draft right, you're going to get better at any position. You're telling me you can't get at least 3 players from the draft, but that's all I'm saying. So I just wanted to call and defend that. You cannot make a playoff run if you're not in a playoffs.
That is sound logic to me, Francisco.
A quick point to tie it back to the 90s teams. Like, you never know when the number 1 seed Broncos are going to lose and, that team that's kind of owned you. And, all of a sudden an opportunity opens up and here we are. We're, in the Super Bowl just because it lined up that year. To his point, you don't have that opportunity.
And I just look at, even a bigger picture. There are years, like if this was last year, the way Buffalo was playing, the way Kansas City was playing, the way Baltimore was playing, I would have said, yeah, you're going to get
It's all
in,
for
but you're going to
naught.
be fodder.
Yeah, right.
For any of those teams. You don't have a shot. I don't feel like that right now. I think that the AFC is wide. I think the league in general is wide open. I
Yeah.
don't think it's a very good league this year.
No.
I think there's a lot of good teams, but there really isn't, I would say, a great one that I've seen.
Not yet.
The Colts have played well, and I've been impressed with what they're doing. I just don't look at them as a great team right now.
Yeah.
That they have the best record, right?
Yeah.
Should they just are they a year ahead of schedule? I don't know. With Daniel Jones, is that sustainable?
I don't know.
Should they not want to win?
Running the ball, get good defense.
Hey,
you never know when you're going to get an opportunity to make a run.
Yeah.
Did we mention that Chason got his?
Mike literally just did.
I mentioned it. We didn't really spend much time on it, but yeah, he did. He was AFC Defensive Player of the Week, first 2-sack game, first touchdown. He's excited, and I wrote a little bit about it. Just a guy, first round pick, 20th overall. I mean, he's now a half sack from tying his career high from last year that he set with the Raiders. So it's kind of clicking for him, I think. And he just seems in this defense where they're just asking you, go get see ball, get ball. He's able to use his quickness, his length, and no, it's been a really good sign.
Okay. I don't want to do trade deadline stuff. There's a lot of emails about the trade deadline, which is, let's see, today's
November
22nd.
4th?
12 days away. Less than 2 weeks is the trade deadline. So we'll get into that as we get closer. I'm not expecting anything big. Are you?
Big? Probably not. But I'm expecting a move.
Something. Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. I'm expecting a running back.
Henrik from Norway. He says, thank you for always having interesting and fun conversations about the Patriots and the NFL in general. Listening to Unfiltered helps us understand so much about football, making us appreciate the sport in more ways than we would otherwise know. At least that's how it is for me. You all do amazing work. If you ever decided to do a podcast 7 days a week, that would be great. Paul, what do you think?
Paul would do
7 days a week?
Paul's crazy.
I'd be absolutely interested in it for the right price.
There you go. Everybody's got a price. Have some questions regarding the arm strength and arm talent between quarterbacks in the NFL. Can you please rank the top 10 quarterbacks with the strongest arm currently playing in the league? And also, can you also rank the top 10 quarterbacks with the strongest arm of all time? Wow.
Jeez, that's
and one more.
20.
Please rank the top 10 quarterbacks with the best arm of all time. So best versus strong. He's got his own list. I don't know. Do we want to get into this?
Can you just read his list? Because we can't do this.
Okay, list of. So he's got 3 categories: strongest arm.
Okay, this is now or
current,
all time? Current.
All time strongest
now
arm.
I would say Josh Allen strongest.
Second, and then all time with the best arm. So he differentiates best.
And so what's his list of top 10
current
strongest arms?
Current. Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, Matthew Stafford, Aaron Rodgers, Drake May, Dak Prescott, Trevor Lawrence, Baker Mayfield, Joe Burrow.
Caleb Williams belongs on that list.
I think Joe Milton has a stronger arm than all of them.
He's not a quarterback. All right, what's the next list?
Not a quarterback.
He's not a starting quarterback.
Okay, he didn't say starting quarterback.
You have to play to have a strong arm.
Okay, all right. All-time list with the strongest arm. John Elway.
I would agree with that.
Brett Favre.
I would agree with that, too.
Jeff Georgia.
Oh,
great
good
arm.
one.
Yep.
Good one.
Michael Vick.
Yeah.
Jay Cutler.
Yeah.
Josh Allen. Mahomes. Rodgers. Marino.
Yeah. I mean, hard to argue with any of the guys on this list.
And Tom Brady.
I don't know. Not the strongest arm, but good enough arm.
Yep. And then
like the best arm, Tom Brady.
So he's got Tom Brady at top of best arm. Then he's got Dan Marino, Aaron Rodgers, Joe Montana, Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, John Elway, Brett Favre, Patrick Mahomes, and Dan Fouts.
Yeah, so, I mean, hard to argue with his names.
I want to know definition of best arm, because if best arm is accuracy, okay.
See, to me, best arm is a combination of everything. Like accurate, strong, can make all the throws,
sculpted.
Yeah, like I don't like Drew Brees in terms of his accuracy and timing is elite. I don't think he had a great arm.
Yeah. Right.
Like I wouldn't say that he was one of the best 10 arms. Same with Joe Montana.
So is his strength is his mental parts. It's not his arm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Timing.
So I wouldn't put him in the best arm category.
I agree.
Does accuracy factor into having a great arm, or is that mental?
It does.
I think Aaron Rodgers gets into the best arm. He's near the. For me, he's near the top.
Elway would be one, but Rodgers is hard to argue.
What about slinging Sammy Baugh?
Don't forget about him.
You can speak intelligently on that. I can't.
Dan Pastorini?
No.
No. Okay. All right.
Dan Pastorini.
I mean, there's some guys back in the day. Joe Namath.
Burt Jones had a great
How come
arm.
Joe Namath isn't in the on the
Joe
list?
Namath? Yeah, absolutely. Burt Jones had a great arm.
Yeah.
What about
Johnny
Vince
Unitas?
Ferragamo?
Actually, Johnny Unitas didn't have a very good arm.
I have never saw Johnny Unitas play. I
You know.
couldn't tell you.
Me neither. Before my time.
But, Sammy Baugh got the name Slinging
Slinging,
for a
I mean, he
reason.
must- yeah, slinging
right?
it.
Well, maybe he was the only quarterback in the league that threw at the time.
Probably.
So they called him Slinging
Probably.
Sammy Baugh. How long are we going here?
I don't know. But
I like you giving them a little extra for the
I'm
fans.
just gonna let it roll. See where we ended up.
Oh, geez, I forgot. I didn't even see that. All right, well, that's it. I got a meeting.
Well, if it got to like 2:45, Mike, I would have put my
Well,
foot
Vrabel
down.
was a little late, so All right, that's going to be it for this edition of Patriots Unfiltered. We're sending out a search and rescue crew for Evan. We'll see how he's doing. We'll be back tomorrow on Thursday. It'll be a
Gotta
big
hurry.
day. A little bit more on the Browns. Any new news? See if the line shifted. Between now and then, that'll show a little bit what the sharps think, and then we'll do our picks. So see you tomorrow.
Hey, this is Alex. Thanks for tuning into the show. If you really want to help us, make sure you like us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Also, make sure you follow us on the New England Patriots YouTube channel to see this show and everything else we do here at the Patriots. Thanks a lot.